And welcome to Ken Wilson Field, everybody. I'm John Lundeen along with Zach Yowzy as we're preparing for yet another CVAC Section 7 class. And this one features the Saranac Lake Redskins against the Ticonderoga Sentinels. Big week for the Saranac Lake Redskins as this is homecoming week. And Ticonderoga comes in with a record of 1-5, and they would like nothing better than to spoil the homecoming weekend for the Saranac Lake Redskins. Redskins come in with a winning streak of now 2 in a row, and they would love to close out their season with a record of 7-2, but they need this win over Ticonderoga. We had a chance to speak with Saranac Lake coach John Raymond prior to the game on Tuesday. We talked about this game, preparing for Ticonderoga, what's been a softer portion of their schedule with Saranac, Ostable Valley, and now the Sentinels, and also the next 2 weeks of the Section 7 CVAC high school football season. Of the high school football season. Take on Ticonderoga today. This is pretty much wraps up what's been a softer part of your schedule with Saranac, Ostable Valley, now Ticonderoga. What have you done to keep the morale up for the Redskins?
Well, you always get the morale up when you win. There's no question about that. And we're now 4-2. We're looking to go 5-2, and the momentum's building. We're going to be ready.
Watching you in practice this week, a little bit tougher in practice this week than what I've seen in the couple of past weeks.
Well, we're starting to bark and get ready because we have other things coming up. We don't want to take away from Ticonderoga, but you know what's looming in the next couple of weeks as well as I do.
You got Seton Catholic at Tupper Lake. Are they focused on Ticonderoga this week and not the next 2 games?
Well, we're certainly not good enough to not worry about an opponent we play, but the word Tupper Lake seems to be coming into our locker room quite often, and I'm not wild about that. We got to play them one at a time.
I know this is Redskins football, but you said early on this season the team to look out for is Tupper Lake. Have they surprised really anybody? They haven't surprised you, they haven't surprised me, but have they surprised anybody this year?
Oh, I think so. They're not used to winning. They're winning games, and God bless them. I hope they win them all except the one they play the last game of the season.
Right, they're making the run for the Class D title, and then they'll have you to wrap up the year where they got Mayor's Cup. What do you have in store for Ticonderoga this week? Any trick plays? You've been reaching deep into your bag of trickery the last couple of weeks. Anything that we haven't seen in the past from Redskin football?
No, not this week, John. We're going back to basics. We're going to block and tackle, and we're going to get after this team and make them stop what we do best.
You've had a couple of changes in the offensive and defensive line. How has that fit into your current winning streak with 2 in a row?
Well, we move kids around quite often. We always have what we call open season. Whoever beats a kid out, he gets that position, and that's what competition's all about.
Is that healthy at practice? Do kids each week expect to be a part of the starting lineup, or they go in each week wondering, I've got to work extra hard, I've got to impress Coach Raymond, Coach Munn, the rest of the staff, in order to earn a spot on the starting lineup come Saturday?
Well, we hope that's the way it is. If a kid doesn't practice, well, he doesn't play that Saturday. It's as simple as that.
All right, good luck with Ticonderoga today.
Thank you, John.
All right, and we did that interview on Tuesday, and on Tuesday I was walking around the field talking with some of the players about this game coming up with Ticonderoga, and John Raymond was saying that, you know, the team had to be focused. This was a tough week of practice, one, because it is the homecoming weekend, but the other because it's a short week with the Columbus Day holiday. What we failed to mention in that interview was that the Saranac Lake Redskins, Zach, they have a big injury to deal with, and this is on the front line. Dustin Plumidor is out for the season during a routine 7-on-7 drill. He injured his knee. He is out for the year, and Devlin Cotter will have to fill that hole. Does that affect the line of scrimmage in any way for Saranac Lake?
Well, obviously, when you have somebody as large as as large as Dustin playing, he's a good, strong player, and they run a lot of plays behind him. But I think Devlin's strong enough to hold his own. They've got a strong enough offensive line to make up for the loss of Dustin. I think they can hold it together.
And the offensive line has been absolutely outstanding with Fitzgerald and Walker and Granish, as well as Ian Zaran and Doug Cochran at the tight end position. But obviously, Dustin Plumidor is going to be missed. The fact that this is the homecoming weekend, the short week with the Columbus holiday, you played for Raymond. You played a number of years in the Saranac Lake program. It's kind of difficult to get focused, and especially when you know Ticonderoga is coming to town, and they're really on the downside this year.
Well, it's harder to get focused. You know it's a game that they're most likely going to win. They think they're coming in and it's going to be an easy win for them. And they had a lot of hard time. They have a hard time focusing because it's a playful week. Homecoming's a playful week. You dress up, you wear hats to school, and it's hard to focus.
We watched Raymond in practice on Tuesday, and he was making sure that the kids were focused. They made a joke with him and said, you know, that you're working these kids harder this week than I've seen you work them at any other time during the season. And he said, again, these kids are too nice, but this week they're too nice because of the short practice and the fact that this is the homecoming weekend.
Right, and like you said, Ticonderoga, they've had a rough year so far. They're coming into this game a little distrust of their own playing style, and Saranac Lake comes in thinking that they're going to win. So it's going to be hard. They gotta remember that they could spoil them.
In the past, this is a game that the Saranac Lake Redskins would circle on their schedule. Saranac Lake, Ticonderoga always seem to be battling for the Class C title. Ticonderoga this year, they're on the downside. This is, if you look in the Webster Dictionary for rebuilding, Ticonderoga is right there. Last year, Coach Tom Stryker stayed with the program despite the fact that he retired as a school teacher, feeling that with 15 seniors, they could make a run at the state title. They didn't do so. They had a 5-4 season. Disappointing. This year's squad only returns 3 players from the entire team. We're talking both the offense and the defense this season. We've got a lot of juniors and a lot of sophomores, and it's been reflective, Zach, in the fact that they are 1-5 this year.
Well, and it's rough. It's rough to have a team that a lot of juniors can play, and Saranac Lake has a lot of strong juniors and Jim Donis, but Ticonderoga had to suffer. They had to bring up a lot of sophomores who've only had 1 year of play in high school football. They really don't have the experience to do what you'd want them to.
When we talked with Coach Wells earlier in the week, Saranac Lake has their go-to guy. Jim Donis can put the ball in the air, doing very well this season. Ryan Rattel out of the backfield. I asked Coach Wells, you know, who's been the go-to guy for you this season? He says, you know, John, he goes, again, I got 3 returning players, and of the 3 returning, they really weren't impact players last year. We have not found that go-to guy. In fact, we really haven't found a leader on this team, and maybe that's more of a reason why we're 1-5, and rather than the inexperience.
Well, that's definitely true. The thing is, however, when you bring up this many juniors as, you know, when you've got them as your starters and you've got that many sophomores up, they're getting the hardcore experience that you need. They're right there at the varsity level. So in the next couple of years, I would think they should be getting some strength. They really should.
Yeah, this will be the rebuilding year for Ticonderoga, but in the next couple of years, you'll probably see them make, again, their traditional runs at the Class C title. Saranac Lake, on the other hand, they do come into this game. They come into this game as focused as John Raymond would like them to be. Ryan Rattel will be the featured back in the tailback position for the Redskins, but if Saranac Lake comes out of the first quarter, second quarter, with a commanding lead, Ryan Rattel will probably take his seat on the bench. Right now, he is ranked number 2 behind Ambrose Walden of Saranac for the Section 7 rushing title. So that may be in jeopardy for Ryan Rattel.
Well, it might be. I'm not sure he's too worried about it. He is a stronger runner. The only reason Walden, of course, is beating him is he's basically the only runner that Saranac uses at this point. They don't have a whole lot of other backs. Saranac Lake, however, they take Ryan Rattel and they sit him down for a little while. Saranac Lake has a lot of other strong backs that they can use to run the football, and they've showed us that they can do that. Jeremy Rich and James Muldoon, a lot of other people can put that ball in the end zone.
And Coach John Raymond is looking at the beginning of this game, the coin toss. I asked him on Tuesday, if you win the coin toss, will you decide to go on offense first or set the tempo defensively? And he said Ticonderoga is a young team. I think we can unravel them, we can intimidate them, and he's going to take the kickoff in the second half and set the tempo defensively. But they've been doing that all season long, especially from the defensive end position.
They really have. Peter Schmidt, the large defensive end, we had a talk with him last week, and he has had a very strong season, several sacks, several tackles, and I think the defense that Saranac Lake has worked out is good. It's a good one, and they've got Peter Schmidt working in a right strong position to get in there and get the tackles.
You made a good point during the JV game that Ticonderoga, despite the fact that they are struggling, they would love to ruin somebody's homecoming this season, and it just happens to be Saranac Lake. This is almost the North Country Super Bowl for the Sentinels.
It really is. Saranac Lake has a strong homecoming. They'll have their biggest audience. They'll have everyone's going to be the most up for this game, and it would be the most fun to destroy them during this particular game.
All right, Zach, let's take a look at the starting lineups. We'll take a look first at the Saranac Lake Redskins starting units on both offense and defense, and then we'll take a look at the offense and the defensive starting lineups for Ticonderoga. At center, Jason Walker. The guards are going to be featuring Jesse Fitzgerald as well as Scott Granish. We already mentioned that Dustin Plumidor will not start. That's going to be Devlin Cotter at the right tackle position. Ian Zaran is going to be the left tackle for the Redskins. The tight end doesn't catch a lot of passes, but he's a very good, strong blocker. Doug Cochran will get the start. At the split end position, James Muldoon, number 21, will get the call. Jeremy Rich, the flanker, is maybe the speediest offensive player that John Raymond has on his squad on the offensive side. The fullback will be Brent Foster, number 46, making his third consecutive start at that position. Ryan Rattel is the tailback for the Saranac Lake Redskins, and Jim Donis will be under center at least for the first half, and then we may see a switch with Arian Vincent coming in the second.
And Arian Vincent, once again, he's the senior on the team. He's got a little more experience than Jim Donis. He's strong. He's not as good as Donis. He doesn't have quite the arm, but he's played a good year as well.
Looking at Saranac Lake defensively, the defensive end, Devlin Cotter, as well as Peter Schmidt, number 85. The inside tackles are going to be Brett Foster, 46, and Dustin Plumidor. The linebackers, very good and very fast. Scott Granish, Keith Brown, and Josh Wett as we move across. The corners, Charlie Martin, as well as Ryan Rattel. He'll get his third start at the corner position, and John Solomon and Jeremy Rich will make up the safety positions, with Solomon as the safety and Jeremy Rich as the free safety. Charlie Martin has played a very good cornerback position for the Redskins.
I think we'll see a lot of strong play by Jeremy Rich, as well as James Muldoon, and Peter Schmidt will probably be the real strong men on the defense. Once again, we've seen them playing some very good defense so far this season.
And Ticonderoga will look like this, with Don No at center. Diskin as well as Hawk will be the guards, and Ron Ward and Paul Cahill will be the right tackles. The tight end is going to be Lee Thomas, number 81, and the split end is going to be Jeremy Fish. He is number 11. The flanker will be James Twist, number 23. Chris Paluzzi is the tailback. 44 is Russ Gallo, the fullback, and Jason Trudeau. He is a sophomore, and he will be the quarterback for Ticonderoga. Looking at the Sentinels defensively, the defensive tackles are going to feature Wayne Taylor, 63, and Paul Cahill. The defensive end are Dan Johns as well as Ron Ward. The linebackers, they've got four of them. They go with a 4-4 set, but you don't think they're going to stay with that throughout the course of the game?
During the JV game, they started out with the 4-4 look, and then they did what Saranac Lake does. They convert into like a 5-man line. They put a nose guard down, and it worked for the JV, so we might see quite a bit of that during the varsity game as well.
Let's move across the linebacker line from left to right. Nate Hawk, Aaron Diskin, as well as Russ Gallo, and James Twist are the linebackers. The corners are going to feature Corey DeZella, number 21, and Jason Trudeau, number 14, and Steve Peters will be the safety for the Ticonderoga defense. They come in at 1-5, and I think if there's one key to the game for Ticonderoga, it's to stay in this one early. If they lose the first quarter in a big way, and that's really been the trouble for them. And you take, for example, the Peru contest, in which Peru scored 36 in the first quarter. If they can stay in this game in the first quarter, they may have a shot.
That's especially true. If you get behind in the first quarter, it's going to be hard for them to catch up, considering that Saranac Lake's going to have the momentum, be it homecoming and a large score and a good team.
All right, Zach, let's take a timeout and join the playing of the national anthem. Okay, we are getting set for the first quarter of this Section 7 CVAC high school football matchup. The Redskins riding a two-game winning streak with wins over Saranac as well as Sable Valley. And it was a strange game in Sable Valley. The Redskins were dominating for the first half plus, but in the third quarter, fourth quarter, Sable Valley got a chance to at least tie, if not pull ahead at Saranac Lake, and it kind of left a bad taste in the coaching staff's mouth that they were actually going to give the team an opportunity to come back in the game. And Coach Munn, as well, of course, John Raymond stressed that if we put Ticonderoga down early, we're going to keep them down early.
I think that's definitely true, and I think Saranac Lake, as long as they keep their heads in the game, the defense can hold any team to the field. They've had some trouble this season with fumbles and some problems with penalties early on in the season that really held them back from doing what they could have done in most of their games.
Well, Ticonderoga did win the coin flip, and they have decided that they will accept in the second half, so that means, they will accept. So Saranac Lake will kick off in the first half and accept the opening kickoff in the second half. To kick for the Saranac Lake Redskins, setting it up on the tee on the 40-yard line. That is number 13, Jeremy Rich. Back tee for Ticonderoga. We have number 15, that is Steve Peters, as well as number 12, Paluzzi. There's the kick, a low line drive, end over end. It is touched by the up back, that is James Twist. Twist trying to find some room, and a big fullback, and he fumbles the football. I'm not quite sure if he was able to fall back on the football. Saranac Lake is reacting as though as they have picked it up, and let's see what happens when the referees unfold the pile. Still scrambling for the football, and the officials say Ticonderoga has recovered their own fumble.
While trying to take him down on that play, you could see the Saranac Lake tacklers getting in there. He was really having a hard time hitting that football, and as they kept hitting him, he was losing it, and he finally did drop that football.
Oh, we've just been notified about a couple of changes on the offensive line for Ticonderoga. Lee Thomas, number 81, will be the starting quarterback. The split end is going to be LaValle. Jeremy Fish is going to move to the tight end position with a couple of other injuries. Slowly move by Thomas to the quarterback position, step under center. He'll hand it off to his fullback, Gallo. Gallo tries to fight his way through as this drive begins on the Ticonderoga 24-yard line.
Gallo on the carry. Trying to run right up the left side, finding a huge pile of men. He ran right into a wall. There was nowhere really for him to go on that.
Gallo picks up just 1 yard on the carry to the 25-yard line. Again, the Redskins with Foster and Cotter at the defensive positions. The linebackers, we'll talk about them in just a couple of moments. There's another fumble on the play. Ticonderoga, Zach, is having a heck of a time trying to hold on to the football. And this time, Saranac Lake does recover. And right there, all season long, number 85, Peter Schmidt.
Peter Schmidt was on that play, so it looks like it might have been the starting defense. However, the linebackers did not seem to be the normal ones. It appears that Josh Smed, number 83, and number 26, Matt Darrow, were playing linebacker. I'm not sure we expected to see that.
And looking at the fumble, it's just a bad pitch by the quarterback Thompson, and Gallo was unable to handle it, and Peter Schmidt was right there to pick it up. So it's first down and 10 for Saranac Lake from the 24-yard line of Ticonderoga. We are just underway. Nobody's on Muldoon on the left-hand side. However, Donis doesn't see it and pitches it to Ryan Rattel. Ryan Rattel trying to turn the corner outside, and he's finally forced out of bounds. And the tackle was made by Steve Peters, number 15. And nobody saw this on the left-hand side. Number 21, James Muldoon, was absolutely wide open. Nobody was lined up across from him.
I'm sure he's going to be coming back to this huddle telling Jim Donis about this, and I'm sure he's going to be telling the coaching staff about this as well. I'm sure the coaching staff saw it.
So let's see what Donis does bring back to the huddle for Saranac Lake. That was a gain of 6 yards. Second down and 4. Redskins, now they're going to have a defender on James Muldoon. He's the wide receiver on the left-hand side. Ryan Rattel is the tailback in the I formation. Now there's movement against Ryan Rattel. He didn't go anywhere, but he did move his shoulders, and then the snap was accepted to Donis, and Ryan Rattel wasn't set. So it's going to stay second down, but the Redskins are going to lose 5. So about second down and 8 for Saranac Lake. First penalty of the ball game, and you hit it on that just a few moments ago. The Redskins have been penalized quite a bit this season.
And that is, it's only been not even a whole minute into the first quarter here, and we've already had 1 penalty.
From the wishbone of formation, Donis gives it off to Charlie Martin. Charlie Martin wants to turn the corner as well. Picks up a good block by Muldoon. Still on his feet, breaks the tackle, and finally is brought down. That tackle was made by Ron Ward. Muldoon threw a beauty of a block on the left-hand side and give Charlie Martin just a couple of more seconds of room. Then he was able to break the tackle from James Twist to pick up a couple of more yards, and that is a first down run as they set the ball just outside the 10-yard line, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for Saranac Lake from the 11. There he is breaking away from Twist, and finally Ward was there to make the tackle.
Somehow scrambling out of his hands. He had him with both hands, then he had him by the shirt, and he broke away and had a nice cut.
Charlie Martin is lined up wide to the right-hand side. Nobody is up against him. Let's see what happens. We've seen the reverse in this type of situation before. Now they pitch it to Ryan Rattel. Ryan Rattel could go, and he does. An 11-yard run by Ryan Rattel, and maybe they were thinking the same thing, possibly the reverse with Charlie Martin, and Ryan Rattel runs into the end zone untouched. It is 6-0 Redskins with 10:30 to play in the opening quarter. Looking at that at the replay, Charlie Martin gets a good block. How about the block right there by Brett Foster? That was the one that set Ryan Rattel absolutely free, and it's 6-0.
He had held him just long enough to get him into that end zone.
Redskins will try the point after. Jeremy Rich is the kicker. There's a snap, ball's down, kick is in the air, and it hits the upright, and it bounces back into the field of play. So the kick is no good. 10:30 left on the game clock in the first quarter. 6-0 Redskins over Ticonderoga.
A little bit of pressure on the kicker by a couple of charging ends on that one. They were right there behind him.
Well, Ticonderoga, they turn the ball over on the first offensive series, and the Redskins are able to take advantage of it. An 11-yard run by Ryan Rattel. And Ticonderoga had difficulty holding the football. They fumbled it on the return with the opening kickoff, and then on that play as well, which resulted in the turnover and the Saranac Lake score. Lee Thomas will stay at the quarterback position for the Ticonderoga Sentinels. Jason Trudeau apparently is injured. He will not get the start. So now they've moved Jeremy Rich to the tight end of position, and Fish will move, and they'll move, Thompson, or LaValle rather, to the split end position. So Jeremy Rich will tee it up on the 40-yard line, and Ticonderoga still on the far sideline setting up their return team.
Second time Saranac Lake's kickoff team will take the field.
We're set. Redskins are set. Sentinels are set. Jeremy Rich set to kick off. They're going to try an onside kick, and Ticonderoga reads it well, and that is Aaron Diskins, number 56. Why the onside kicks at this time?
Well, they want the football. Might as well get the football. Keep scoring. Pound away early.
But on the flip side, though, Ticonderoga, you give them very good field position, and we're still very early in the first quarter.
Well, Saranac Lake's major strength is their defense. I'm not sure that they're worried about giving up a little position. 50 yards is still a long way to go, especially against Saranac Lake's defense.
Lee Thompson leads the Sentinels to the line of scrimmage as the Sentinels use the power I formation. Thompson rolls out the pass. He's going to swing it out near side, and it's incomplete. Its intended receiver, number 23, James Twist, incomplete at the Saranac Lake 45-yard line.
Lee Thomas's pass intended for number 23, James Twist. Ball's incomplete.
I wonder how much this game plan is going to change for Ticonderoga. We just saw the pass from Thompson with Jason Trudeau at the quarterback position. Coach Wells said that they were not going to throw the ball that much. They would only throw it if they absolutely had to.
A little bit strange on that play. Peter Schmidt had a route right in. For some reason, he stopped moving as he got to one of the blockers and then decided to change his mind and keep going.
Pizzoli is the tailback. He takes the handoff. He's at midfield. He'll pick up a yard or two. Third down play coming up, 3rd and 9, Ticonderoga. Pizzoli is going to be the featured back in this offense with Russ Gallo. Ticonderoga, at least according to the game plan that we had talked about on Tuesday, they wanted to keep the ball on the ground as much as possible, only throw it if they absolutely had to because of the inexperience both in the backfield and on the offensive line. And then, too, they've got to respect the speed of the defensive ends for the Redskins. They're going to send Russ Gallo into motion. Now they're going to pitch it out to Pizzali. He is stopped at the 50-yard line. He'll fall forward for about a half yard. However, nowhere near the first down marker, and Ticonderoga will have to kick it away.
Bit of a flurry of men on the field on the right side of the field for Saranac Lake defense. Some good blocking by Ticonderoga, knocking some men out of the way.
Charlie Martin, Ryan Rattel are back deep for Saranac Lake. Punter's going to be 44, Russ Gallo. There's the snap, good snap. And the kick, that is straight up and down and short. It's going to bounce, and it takes the Saranac Lake bounce. 1, 2. That is a 7-yard kick in the air, or 9-yard kick in the air, and it's a net gain of 7 yards when it took the Redskin bounce.
Rough kick for Ticonderoga. That's not the kind of special teams play you need to get Saranac Lake back down the field.
Here comes Jim Donis onto the field, the quarterback, the junior QB for Saranac Lake. We will talk with him at the half. We spent some time with him on Tuesday, talk about his first season replacing Emil at the quarterback position, and just basically the Redskins in general and what they've accomplished so far this year. Jeremy Rich is the wide receiver to the left-hand side, and it's going to be a quarterback option for Donis. Donis pitches it to Ryan Rattel. Ryan Rattel on his feet and knocked out of bounds at the Ticonderoga 45-yard line. Donis held it for the last possible moment, then made the right read on the defense and made the pitch.
Ryan Rattel definitely a stronger runner than Donis, so he'd probably have more of a chance in breaking the two tacklers that were there ready for him. So I think Donis definitely had made a good choice by pitching the ball. But if you look at when you look at that play, the wide outs are still not well covered. They're still failing. Once again, James Muldoon.
We've got an injured player. That's Nate Hawk for Ticonderoga. They got to get him off the field. So Ticonderoga is going to take a timeout. Hawk was the one who just made the tackle with Ryan Rattel. And when you saw Saranac Lake line up offensively, you saw Ryan Rattel line up as the wide receiver on the right side, and they moved Muldoon and Rich to the left side.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got our first timeout. Sit back, everybody. High school football out of Delphia Cable. John Lundeen and Zach Yowzy bringing you this homecoming contest. Earlier in the morning, we saw Saranac Lake post a 36-6 win in the JV game over Ticonderoga. They're still undefeated on the year. However, the downside is they gave up their first defensive touchdown.
Well, first touchdown period. Honestly, they hadn't been scored on special teams or defense.
Yeah, they had not been scored on at all. They had their second unit defense on the field. Ticonderoga still using their first unit offense, and that game was over once the opening whistle with the opening kickoff. The JVs, they had two scores, two 46-yard runs, a 72-yard punt return, a 54-yard run from the line of scrimmage as well. They just dominated and controlled that contest.
All in the first half?
Ryan Rattel still the wide receiver on the right-hand side. They'll swing it out his way at the 40, and he's still on his feet and finally tackled at the 36-yard line of Ticonderoga. Tackle was made by Aaron Diskin, who is playing the left guard position for Ticonderoga, number 56.
Ticonderoga, I suppose it's very smart. They're doubling up on Ryan Rattel. However, the flip side of that is they're going to be losing people on the other side of the field, and Saranac Lake's got enough strength to throw to any of their receivers.
Brett Foster, the fullback, comes back in. Charlie Martin to the sideline. Second down and a short one coming up for the Redskins from the 36-yard line of Ticonderoga. Donis takes the snap, and he's going to hand it to Brett Foster. He's got the first down and much more. A first down run on his first carry for Brett Foster. First and 10, Saranac Lake.
It was what appeared to be a very fast-paced wedge by Saranac Lake. That, of course, is where the linemen all just grouped together and run upfield with the running back behind them. That was very quickly played.
First and 10 from the Sentinel 25-yard line. The drive began on the Saranac Lake 46. Wishbone formation. Brett Foster is the fullback in the formation. Two tight ends in the set as well. That's Ryan Rattel. He turns to the corner. He's finding some more room to run into the secondary, now trying to cut back to the near side of the field, and he is close to the 15, maybe the 16-yard line. Another long run for Ryan Rattel.
Ryan Rattel having a good year, not just for running quickly, but having the very agile feet and running around men and through places that you just wouldn't think he could make it. He's broken a lot of tackles this year and found some holes in places that they just didn't exist.
And that hole was large enough for a first down run as they marked the ball on the Ticonderoga 15-yard line.
Ticonderoga 15-yard line.
Redskins' offensive line has just been blowing the Ticonderoga defenders off the ball. Wide receiver on the left-hand side is Jeremy Rich. That's James Muldoon on the right-hand side. Foster, Ryan Rattel in the backfield. The pitch is to Ryan Rattel. Ryan Rattel picks up a big block from Foster. Still on his feet inside the 5, and he's finally tackled at the 1-yard line. And the tackle was made for Ticonderoga by 44 Russell Gallo. If he wasn't there, Ryan Rattel would have had his second score this afternoon.
Very nicely played. He almost made that, and he almost got tackled into the end zone. Luckily, he was stopped just before.
Another first down run for Ryan Rattel. First and goal. That's a gain of 13 yards for the senior tailback. Jim Donis will set the line of scrimmage down at the Ticonderoga 2. Wishbone formation again. Jeremy Rich is one of the tailbacks. Foster the fullback. Back to Ryan Rattel. He leaps over the pile and he scores from 2 yards out. It is a 12-0 ball game. Redskins over the Sentinel. 6:49 to go in the opening quarter.
Ryan Rattel sort of just hops his second touchdown onto the board. Just kind of skips into the end zone over a couple of down men. Here it is again. Just sort of bobbles in there.
Hops right over. In fact, he jumped over Wayne Taylor, the inside tackle for Ticonderoga, and from 2 yards out he scored.
Which means that the Saranac Lake offense really did a great job doing what they're supposed to do. They had their man down.
Redskins set up the 2-point conversion. Donis rolling out. He's going to pitch it to Ryan Rattel. Trying to turn the corner, trying to get in, and he does. Ryan Rattel, the one-man offensive machine, at least in this quarter. Redskins got 14 points on the board, all 14 from Ryan Rattel. It is 14-0. Redskins over Ticonderoga, and Ryan Rattel is slowly coming off the field. Looking at that pitch and the replay, Ryan Rattel was able to get in there and pass the outstretched arms of number 31, John Gunning, who was the last one there to try to make the tackle for Ticonderoga.
Seems that Saranac Lake seems to be adopting this option play quite a bit this season. We've seen a lot of that Jim Donis roll and pitch to Ryan Rattel quite a few times. We've also seen Jim Donis keep the ball and make quite a bit of yardage. He's had a couple touchdowns this season as well as a few yards.
You know, Jim Donis still likes it.
What's that?
He likes running this option play. There's a little bit of risk in it, obviously, but he likes to hold it for the last possible minute and flip it off to Ryan Rattel. He says it's a fun part of the offense for him. And it's been a totally different style of offense this season as what we saw last season when Emil had a stronger arm. He could really pitch the ball downfield. Donis may not have that strong of an arm, but he's an accurate passer. And then you run the option. It's another dimension for the Redskins offense.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying about Donis. I definitely see that being true.
Jeremy Rich from his 40. There's the kickoff. It is on the ground. It's going to roll to the backman, Peters. Peters has difficulty with the football. Redskins will pick it up. He cannot advance the football. That is... Is that Wayne Holt? Number 31, yes it is, and the Redskins pick up the football on the bobbled kickoff. Wayne Holtz picks it up for Saranac Lake and gives them excellent field position deep in Ticonderoga's defensive territory. There you see the receiver, that's Peters, having difficulty handling the football, and Holtz is right there to pick it up for the Redskins.
James Muldoon with a great play on that, crashing into the receiver, not letting him have any chance to get that ball. James Muldoon's had a great season so far.
Well, the Redskins would like to put at least another 6 more on the board. Donis gives it to Ryan Rattel. There he goes again. Off tackle, and he scores.
Huge
Ryan
hole.
Rattel from 21 yards out. Put another 6 on the board.
That should answer your question right there, John. That was the right side of the offensive line for Saranac Lake. Devlin Cotter subbing in for Dustin Plumidor right there. You can see him. He makes a huge hole for him. Number 65 just plowed his man right out of the way. Had at least 5 yards to run between.
Ryan Rattel untouched. The Redskins are manhandling the defensive unit of Ticonderoga at the line of scrimmage. In for the point after, John Trumer. Muldoon is the holder. There's the snap. Kick is up. And the kick is going to be wide to the left-hand side. But the Redskins jump on the board again. They have put on 20 points in the first quarter. We still got, Zach, 6:36 to play in the opening quarter. And we talked about this in a pregame show. Ticonderoga does not want to be out of this game in the first quarter, and they're well on their way to accomplishing that.
In Saranac Lake, you see them on the kickoff. They didn't want to give anything up. They didn't want to kick it long, and they just wanted to get the ball down on the ground so that they didn't have any big plays trying to get the ball into the end zone. And they got lucky. What happened was it ended up taking a big bounce. Looked like he might get it and get a run. Fumbled it, and we picked up the ball and got the touchdown.
Well, special teams have been effective for the Redskins in this one. 6:36 to go in the opening quarter. It is 20-0. Ryan Rattel over the Ticonderoga Sentinels. You can't give Ryan Rattel all the credit, though, because he's had some huge holes to run through. That 20-yard run right there is evidence enough. The line of scrimmage dominating the Ticonderoga defense.
Good show for Devlin Cotter.
Yep, absolutely.
He definitely proved that he can hold his own where Dustin Plummetor's spot.
Jeremy Rich sets it up. Oh, high and over and a kick. That is Fazuli. He fumbles the football as well. Now he's got to scramble. He's at the 15 and finally stopped at the 18. Actually, move it to the 28-yard line. Excuse me, 28-yard line. Ticonderoga 1st and 10.
I think Saranac Lake coaching staff might have thought they might have spotted a little bit of trouble back there in the hands on the kickoff return team for Ticonderoga. They decided to kick it long, hope for the play again, and he almost fumbled it once again.
How about the cold weather? Does that have any
It's
effect?
bad for the hands. Bad, especially for the linemen. I feel bad for the linemen. Got to get their hands right in there in the cold, wet soil. It's tough.
Thomas remains the quarterback, and he'll give it to his tailback, Fazuli. Fazuli, there's a good second effort. He crosses the 35-yard line, and it's stopped there.
Good strong run, definitely. Not a whole lot of hole there for him to run through. He was kind of blocked up, congested with men. Still broke through, made some good yardage.
Fazuli picks up 6, 2nd and 4 for Ticonderoga. Bringing the play in is Ron Ward, offensive tackle. Schumer's going to give it to his tailback, Fazuli, once again. And Fazuli is stopped at his own 39-yard line. He's going to be, he's going to be about a half yard short of a first down. They may bring the chains out to measure this one. The officials are looking at that first down marker, and Zach, they are going to bring the chains out to see if Fazuli did in fact reach the first down marker. I'm not even going to venture a guess. It's going to be close.
I think it's a first.
Either way.
I think it's a first.
Let's see.
I'll make the prediction.
I said he's going to be short by about a half yard.
All right, well, that's all right.
All right, 3rd and inches. 3rd and inches for the Ticonderoga Sentinels.
Now 3rd and a foot.
Ticonderoga, at least emotionally, would like nothing better than a first down right now. They've turned the football over 3 times. The Redskins have taken advantage. Thompson leads them to the line of scrimmage. Redskins throwing blitz, and they give it to Fazuli, and he'll pick up the first down, a gain of 3 yards as the Redskins were showing blitz. Crashing there was number 23, Jimmy Williams.
Gallo was carrier.
Williams, however, just over pursued that hole and battled out the first down for Ticonderoga.
First down at the 41-yard line.
So first down, the first down of the game for Ticonderoga comes at the 5:01 mark of the first quarter. Thomas has a wide receiver on the left-hand side. They're going to send Russ Gallo into motion. They'll run the pitch to Fazuli. Fazuli trying to turn the corner. Fazuli, he's got a first down and much more into Saranac Lake defensive territory before finally being stopped at the Redskins 43.
Fazuli on the carry. Stopped by number 41, Kyle Sorensen. 21, James Muldoon.
Kyle Sorensen gets credit for the tackle for the Redskins.
Good for a first down at the
See how
45-yard line.
Fazuli picked up that first down. Followed a very good block that we just saw from Russ Gallo. That's the one that set him free. They'll give it to Fazuli. He'll try the middle. nothing there. That hole was closed up quickly by Jackie Bach, number 73 for the Redskins.
He had a little bit of trouble running on that one. It looked like he was leaning a bit before he got to the line, might have lost his footing a bit before he got tackled. And then it was not much room from there.
Fazuli back to the line of scrimmage. That is it. 2nd and 10 for the Sentinels. First time this afternoon they've been in Redskin defensive territory. Thomas, the wide receiver, or the quarterback, sets him down out of the I formation with Gallo, the fullback. They'll send Gallo into motion, and while Gallo was in motion, the right side of the offensive line moved, and there's a legal procedure against Ticonderoga. 2nd down remains, however, 5 yards longer at 2nd and 15. This is going to be from midfield.
Just a little bit of movement will do it, too. As you saw, he didn't move a whole lot. I don't think his feet didn't come off the ground. He just bobbed a little bit, and that caused the penalty.
It's Paul Cahill, the right tackle, who is the guilty party. So from midfield, 2nd and 15, Ticonderoga. That's the first time that they have been penalized this afternoon. Good for 5 yards out of the power I formation. Fazuli is the tailback. Back to throw is Thomas. Thomas looking downfield as he rolls out. And it's intercepted by the Redskins. 21, James Muldoon with the pick. 1st and 10, Saranac Lake from their 25-yard line.
James Muldoon with that strong pass coverage we've been talking about this season. He's played a very key game for the defense.
See how Muldoon was there for that interception. And the intended receiver was Jeremy Fish, but the ball was just overthrown, and James Muldoon was right there.
Play goes on offense, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
What Muldoon lacks in size, he makes up with heart and hustle.
He really does have the legs to play a good game, and
now he lines up as the wide receiver on the left side, Jeremy Rich on the right side. Brett Foster, the fullback, I formation. That is Ryan Rattel up the middle. He's got a big hole to the 40, still on his feet. To the 50, he could go all the way to the 30, and he will go all the way. Ryan Rattel, the touchdown run of 75 yards, and he is well over 100 yards with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. If there were some questions, if he could win the Section 7 rushing title, he may have accomplished that in the first quarter this afternoon.
picking up several incredible blocks here.
And
watch James Muldoon with one.
Oh, look at that
Perfect.
block by James Muldoon as he pancaked Steve Peters, number 15, and that is the block that set Ryan Rattel free.
Truly unexpected for James Muldoon. A lot of people don't expect someone of his size to put up as much of a fight as we've seen him play today or this season. He's had a great season, and we've got Arian Vincent in at the quarterback, folks.
Redskins for the two-point conversion to Charlie Martin. Charlie Martin trying to fight his way into the end zone. Did he reach the ball? Did he stretch the ball over the plane? No, he did not, according to the officials. Ryan Rattel put 6 more on the board. He has put all 26 points on that scoreboard. 26-0. Redskins over Ticonderoga. We still got 3 minutes to go in the opening quarter. What a block by James Muldoon.
Incredible
on
play.
15, Steve Peters.
Incredible play. You saw it here first, folks.
Well, if there were some questions about how intense the Redskins were going to be and how focused they were for this one, I think they've been answered. May have been a short week. It may be homecoming. You may have those 2 distractions, but in between the line, the Redskins are taking care of business this afternoon.
Well, maybe those things are more of a motivator than we expected. Maybe it's more of a motivation than a slack than we thought.
Coach John Raymond, he wanted to make sure that these kids were focused, as well as a Farmer and the rest of the coaching staff, and they are. They have come out on fire. 26-0.
Been
Redskins over Ticonderoga.
a bit of variety here on the kickoff game so far. They've kicked one short, they've kicked one long, they've picked up the ball. Let's see what they do this time. They might just kick it long, see if they can get him to fumble it once again. They've had a little bit of trouble. Their hands are probably getting cold, and they're having a hard time holding on to that ball. Let's see what they do.
Kickoffs have been an adventure so far. An end over end kick. That is going to reach Peters. Peters able to handle it from his 20 to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, and stopped at the 43-yard line.
Found quite a bit of a hole before running into Ben Gagne, number 61, who pursued from the other side.
Yep. But at least Ticonderoga was able to take care of the football.
Steve Peters on the return.
They really were. They tucked it away good. They had their hands on it from the start, right from the catch. They held on to it well.
First and 10, Ticonderoga from their own 44.
Offense, first and 10. Ticonderoga 44.
Wasn't a bad offensive series for Ticonderoga. Their last one, other than, of course, the interception from James Muldoon, but they picked up a couple of big first downs and a couple of good runs from Pizzulli.
They really did. Not bad at all. They had a real strong run just up the opposite side of the field from us here, where they picked up some good, strong blocking. Blocking's been a very important key to this game. James Muldoon picking up an incredible block to let Ryan Rattel into the end zone and getting some long yardage for everybody.
2:50 to go in the opening quarter, and already Ticonderoga will spend their second time out. That means they've got one left. Saranac Lake still has 3 in their pocket. Saranac Lake, they'll work with another short week. They've got to make the road trip down to Plattsburgh on Friday night to face Seton Catholic, and Seton Catholic pulled out a big win. Maybe not some of the best athletes, but Coach Larry Carpenter, one of the best in Section 7, and they will be ready to take on Saranac Lake in that one.
And it's always a fun game. It's always it's a good one to play. You get the adrenaline going. You're under the lights, which is always it's always an exciting game to be under the lights.
And then our next broadcast, Philadelphia Cable, will be on November 2nd. Zach and I and the rest of the crew will make the short trip to Tupper Lake, and we'll follow the Lumberjacks and the Redskins in the Mayor's Cup. That one may be a very big game for Tupper Lake because they are in the Class D race. Today they're in Peru. That's going to be a pretty tough test for the Lumberjacks.
It really will. I think these matching teams in as far as skill and ability go. Saranac Lake and Tupper Lake are pretty much on the same level. 2 years ago in the JV level, these two were the teams that went at it, and Tupper Lake beat our JV team right then.
Here's a different look from the Ticonderoga offense with Gallo, the wide receiver, but they'll still pitch it off to Pizzulli. Pizzulli looking to turn the corner. He's at midfield to the Redskins' 40-yard line and finally knocked out of bounds. And Arian Vincent with a tackle for the Redskins, but not before. He picks up 17 on the carry.
The extra blockers seem to help him out on that. You see that they only had one running back in the backfield. They brought the other two up to do a little blocking for him, and it proved successful.
Wind beginning to pick up at Ken Wilson Field. We thought yesterday we were going to see some rainfall in this one prior to game time. We saw some sprinkles, but it is mostly cloudy. It is cool. I'm not quite sure that the temperature is in fact 53 degrees. It feels much colder than that. Power I formation, double tight end set for Ticonderoga from the Redskins 40. Pizzulli up the middle. Pizzulli got big hole. Pizzulli is set free. He could go all the way. Oh! James Muldoon caught him from behind. But it is going to be a 1st and 10 for Ticonderoga inside the 5-yard line of Saranac Lake. 1st and goal to go.
A very quick developing speed on that one. He was pounding, broke away, somehow got the long run.
Got a big hole off tackle, and James Muldoon, it was a foot race to the end zone, and Muldoon made the sprawling, the shoestring tackle to prevent the touchdown.
A very risky tackle, though. He dove for the feet. He was just praying.
He was hoping to get at least the shoelace there. He got both and tied up the runner. 1st and goal to go for Ticonderoga from the Redskins 5. Why not? Give it to Pizzulli. Let him finish up the play if he can. He dives in, and he scores from 5 yards out. That was all Pizzulli right there. He beat the Redskins defenders to the goal line and scores. With 1:43 to play in the opening quarter, Ticonderoga is on the board thanks to that run right there by Chris Pizzulli, the tailback for the Sentinels. See the Sentinels try the point after or the 2-point conversion. Let's see. Thomas is going to lead Ticonderoga to the line of scrimmage. They'll set up the 2-point conversion. Thomas takes the snap, and it's a pitch out to Pizzulli. Pizzulli runs in. Did he get in? Did he get in? No, he did not get in. He is a foot short. He is a foot short. So the score is going to stay 26-6. The Redskins lead the Sentinels. But importantly, Zach, that's got to be something to build on for the rest of this quarter and maybe for the rest of the ball game for Ticonderoga. Pizzulli's efforts, and they're on the board 26-6.
They've got a good rally going. They're finally getting some real strong blocking in there. They've got some solid blocking that opened up a huge hole for Pizzulli on that. He broke through, found 3 men back there to get him, and he somehow broke to the right and got away from them.
Not even James Muldoon could prevent that touchdown. Did a good job on the first scramble, though. Well, Muldoon is going to be one of the deep receivers for Saranac Lake. Let's see who else will drop back. It looks as though Ryan Rattel and number 24, Charlie Martin. And for the first time this afternoon, Ticonderoga is going to kick off.
As we've mentioned earlier, Saranac Lake has had some very strong effects from their kickoff teams, or their special teams, and their kickoff return team especially has had a couple touchdowns, as well as their punt return team.
And Ticonderoga looks as though they're going to be setting up the onside kick. That is Gallo. Gallo lies the ball on the tee. He wants to take a nice high bounce backwards after 10 yards. Oh, and it does. It does. Ticonderoga will recover. That is number 11, Jeremy Fish. That's how you practice it. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't happen that way.
It certainly does not.
But for Ticonderoga, it did.
Impressive play. Very strong.
Again, you want that nice high bounce after the 10 yards, and it took that bounce. Ticonderoga's defense in Ticonderoga's direction, and Jeremy Fitch picks it up. Ticonderoga first and 10 from their own 46.
Not a lot you can do when you get that luck on your side.
That's luck.
That's luck. There's not a lot you can do to prevent that.
Let's see how the Sentinels play this offensive series. They'll run it up the middle with Gallo. Gallo to the 50-yard line, and it's a gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Ticonderoga and Zach, they're beginning to make a game out of this.
Finally getting some very effective running in. They finally settled with some plays that are definitely working against the Saranac Lake defense. And as you see, they keep, they're punching up the yardage on us.
And they're doing what we thought that they would do, keep the ball on the ground. They've thrown the ball only once, which surprised us a little bit from Lee Thomas. Now they've kept it on the ground with Fazuli and Gallo primarily running the football. They'll give it to the fullback. There's a fumble. Redskins say they have it. The officials agree. The Redskins pick up the fumble. That's number 51, Jason Walker. 1st and 10 Redskins from midfield. That is the last thing Ticonderoga wanted to have happen after a beautifully executed onside kick, but they just couldn't handle it. And that was James Twist, the ball carrier, number 23. Never got the handle. Never had the handle. And Walker was right there to pounce on the football for the Redskins.
So with 1 minute left in the quarter, that's a fumble back to Saranac Lake.
Arian Vincent, again the quarterback for Saranac Lake with wide receivers on either side of the line of scrimmage. Redskins will try to run it up the middle, and there is nothing there.
Ticonderoga, they're definitely putting up much more of a fight now. They held up the Saranac Lake offense right at the line. Nowhere to go. There was no hole open.
Jim Williams was the ball carrier for the Redskins. Just 40 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. From the Redskins, 49-yard line. Wide receivers on either side. Williams is the fullback. Charlie Martin is the tailback. I formation. Vincent again the quarterback. Sets him down. They'll give it to Williams. And Williams will cross midfield to the Ticonderoga 49-yard line. A gain of 2. 3rd and a very long 8 for Saranac Lake coming up.
2 tough plays in a row for Williams. He's got nowhere to go. The holes have not been there this last 2 times.
Looks as though for the Redskins, they've got a number of their second teamers, their second team offense on the field. And after the end of 1 quarter of play, it is 26-6. Saranac Lake over at Ticonderoga. You are watching high school football on Adelphia Cable Channel 2. John Lundeen along with Zach Yalzi bringing you this afternoon's game. Halftime's going to be special. We're going to feature the Saranac Lake cheerleaders as well as the band. And this is homecoming, so the field looking very nice with the colors of gold, white, and red. And also we'll have a chance to speak with Jim Donis at the half, and we'll take a look at some of the other games in Section 7, both last night as well as this afternoon. We already know that for Tupper Lake, they are in Peru to take on the undefeated Indians. Haven't gotten the score. We'll try to get the score out the half of that one.
Tough game for Tupper.
Redskins, following this game, will play again on Friday, as we mentioned. You can hear that game on 1240 WNBZ. And as always, a good game. From the Ticonderoga 49-yard line, the Redskins will change directions. And it's a third down play coming up for the Redskins. Ticonderoga would love to stop this third down play and force Saranac Lake to kick. Wide receiver on the near side is going to be John Trumer, number 84. Also a wide receiver on the left-hand side, John Solomon, 81. 3rd and 8, Saranac Lake. Arian Vincent, the quarterback. Charlie Martin is the guy back in the formation. Takes the pitch, is a little bit high. Tries to turn a corner. He is caught in the backfield and pushed all the way back to his own 45-yard line. That is a loss of 5 to 6 yards. And the first player there for Ticonderoga was the inside linebacker who was blitzing. That was Russ Gallo, number 44.
They had him in the backfield. They grabbed around Charlie Martin's legs. He almost broke away, but it tripped him up just enough to allow another tackler to come in and get him. And now Saranac Lake is going to have to kick.
4th down coming up. The Redskins will kick. Back deep for Ticonderoga is number 12. That is Chris Paluzzi. Jeremy Rich standing on his own 35-yard line. Low snap, he handles it. A line drive kick, a low one. It's going to bounce at the 25-yard line. Paluzzi's going to let it bounce and let it roll. It takes a Redskins roll, and it's finally going to be touched up at the 15-yard line. 1st and 10, Ticonderoga from their own 15.
Ticonderoga 25-yard line. There's a flag on the play.
There's a flag on the play. Inside the 44-yard line, Saranac Lake's 44-yard line. The officials are talking it over with the Redskins. It would be our 3rd penalty of the first half. We had 2 in the first quarter. This would be the first one in the second. Personal foul.
My.
This is hitting the snapper, a personal foul against Ticonderoga. So that means that the Redskins will take over offensively.
They'll gain 15 yards.
And gain 15 yards.
Personal foul running into the snapper.
Not a call you hear often at any level. But Saranac Lake will take the 15 yards, the penalty yards against Ticonderoga, and also take the first down. So 1st and 10, the Redskins. Now, Zach, is this 15 yards from the line of scrimmage or from the point of the infraction?
Well, they took it from the line of scrimmage, it appears to me. I would think that it was from the line. I think it's from the line of scrimmage.
It's got to be from the line of scrimmage because you had to kick from
Well, that would
the
be from the line
45.
of scrimmage anyway. If they was hitting the snapper, then it would occur at the line
It
of
would
scrimmage.
occur at the line of scrimmage.
So both.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, so inside the defensive end of Ticonderoga on their 39-yard line, Saranac Lake 1st and 10. Split back formation. Wide receivers on either side. Oh, the handoff is to Williams, and Williams is smacked by Arian Diskin, number 56, immediately. Diskin probably almost took the handoff, and there's a flag. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Saranac Lake. Wow, look at Diskin. He practically took the handoff himself.
He took out the quarterback and the receiver. Incredible tackle.
You know the 15 yards the Redskins got on the unsportsmanlike conduct against Ticonderoga? They just lost them. I'm not sure what was said, but it wasn't clean enough for the officials' ears. It wasn't wholesome, and the Redskins pick up a personal penalty.
It wasn't necessarily all that bad either. The referees had said that this year they were going to be more strict about it.
Yes, they were. High formation for the Redskins. 2nd down, 25. Charlie Martin is hit at the line of scrimmage, and he falls forward to the line of scrimmage, but that is about it. Gallo makes the tackle for the set.
Having a tough game in the backfield today, Charlie Martin. Not making a whole lot of yardage. He's not finding the holes either as Jim Williams today. The holes just are not there for him to get to.
So 3rd down and a very long 26. Charlie Martin loses 1 on the carry. balanced offensive line with wide receivers on both sides, I formation. Arian Vincent looking to throw, and it was almost picked off by Fazuli at midfield. The intended receiver was John Solomon, and here comes the punting unit onto the field for the Redskins. That was not a well-thrown ball by Arian Vincent.
No, it was not.
He threw that one right into the teeth of the double team.
And it's like we had mentioned about getting their head out of the game. They sort of lost it a bit, it seems. They had 26 points in the first quarter, and it looks like they got a little bit lackadaisical, and it's now hurting them.
It happened last week with Sable Valley late in the third quarter. Jeremy Rich, the punter. Beautiful kick, end over end. Fazuli has difficulty handling it at the 30. Look out! Oh my goodness, what a hit by Scott Granish, number 60 in Fazuli. That one will knock the cobwebs out of the attic. If we can take a look at that hit again.
We can hear that again.
If we can hear, that's just it.
Listen to this.
Picking up the
rush.
football.
Oh.
Bam!
Helmet to helmet.
Ouch! One thing we have seen this season, some big-time hard hits. And that one fits well in that category.
That's one for the books.
Woo, that is one for the books. Fazuli does not want the football this time. They're going to hand it to the fullback. That is Gallo to the 30-yard line. He's going to pick up 3. 2nd and 7 for Ticonderoga. Wow.
Russ Gallo on the carry.
But I am impressed, though. Fazoli's staying in the game. He lined up at the tailback position.
Tough player. He's playing both offense and defense, as well as catching some of the kicks. And he's really out there quite a bit.
Fazuli, the tailback in the power I formation. Ticonderoga tries to run it up the middle once again. And Russ Gallo again on the carry. He's going to pick up 1 more yard. Advances the ball to the 31-yard line. 3rd down and a very long 5 coming up for Ticonderoga. It's not really the season Fazuli had in mind. He was hoping that maybe he could reach that title game or at least the playoffs. He's a senior this year, so this is his final year. He was a junior last season on a team that was expected to play and be a contender for the Class D race. Now he's caught from behind, and he's going to be thrown for a loss. He's going to lose 5 on that. Walker on the tackle, as well as number 13, Jeremy Rich for the Redskins.
Well, and it's unusual that you had mentioned that the head coach, Ticonderoga head coach, Mr. Wells, he had mentioned that they didn't really have a go-to guy. It really seems that this game, it's been
him.
It has been him.
Yeah, it's been Fazuli. But if he keeps up at this pace in terms of being the go-to guy, he's not going to have much left in the 3rd and 4th quarter. What a great kick by Gallo. It sends Ryan Rattel to the 35-yard line.
Oh!
At the 40, there's a clip against Saranac Lake midfield. This one is going to be brought back as finally Ryan Rattel is stopped at the 50-yard line.
That may be an iffy call. It looked to me like he got him from the side or from the front. Looks like they're going to call it hitting from behind.
Yeah, they're going to call the illegal clip, the illegal clip on John Solomon, number 81, trying to plead his case with the official, but it's not going to work.
Tough call. There doesn't seem to be any doubt in the referee's mind, so maybe there shouldn't be in mine either. They are the officials, after all.
I got to admit, I thought it was a clip.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Yep. I thought that was Arian Diskin who was in position to make the tackle on Ryan Rattel. He was the one that was hit from behind by Solomon. So, after what would have been a gain of 15 yards, a return of 15 yards to the 50-yard line, Saranac Lake now 1st and 10 from their own 23. So not the field position that the Redskins had in mind on that kick return. The second team offense still on the field for Saranac Lake. Arian Vincent, the quarterback. Ryan Rattel is the tailback. Arian Vincent takes the snap, and they'll run it up the middle. Not too much there, maybe a yard or 2, but that probably is just about it. Is that Foster? Yep, Foster on the carry, number 46.
Arian Vincent mostly trying to do a little trickery, trying to draw the Ticonderoga men offside, trying to get them to cross the line of scrimmage. Did not work.
How often does that work?
Well, Saranac Lake usually goes on one. We saw it earlier in the season. It did draw quite a few teams off, but it hasn't worked against Ticonderoga. They got good discipline.
Williams the fullback. Charlie Martin is the tailback. Arian Vincent this time may have drawn him off sides, but Ticonderoga said, yeah, they were drawn off sides because of legal procedure against the Redskins. And the officials concur.
Legal procedure penalty.
Take off 5, second down, and 13, Saranac Lake.
Looks like the linebackers got a little sick of the trickery by Saranac Lake, tried to do a little of their own, did a little hop, and it did. It worked. It drew number 62, Matt Street, a little bit offside.
Yep. This is not the same offense, not the same crispness offensively in this quarter that we saw in the first when Saranac Lake put 26 on the board.
Oh, and it is not the same offense either.
Arian Vincent, the quarterback, he's going to keep it, try to run it up the middle. Arian Vincent had his face mask grabbed, however, no flag. He is finally stopped, finally brought down at the 25-yard line. He's going to pick up about 5 on carry.
A lot of heart on that play.
They're going to set the ball down at the 23-yard line. 3rd down and 9, Redskins. Watch the face mask. Watch the hand get up there. See, there it is right there. The hand got up there. That's number 70. That's Ron Ward. However, he got away with it. Good work, guys. Arian Vincent. He's going to pitch it to Charlie Martin. Charlie Martin met in the backfield. He's able to shed 1 tackle, but not the second. And the Redskins will send the punt unit onto the field.
And if you notice, Ticonderoga is doing what we predicted they would do, where they are lining up in a 5-man line on the front. They originally started, they thought they would go in a 4-4. They have brought up a linebacker to go down on the nose guard.
Charlie Martin limps off the field.
Pick up a 1 on the play, bringing up a 4th and 8.
Nursing perhaps a sore left ankle. And the back to punt for the Redskins, Jeremy Rich. That is Pizzuli, who is standing, well, just about midfield on his own 44 to receive the punt. End over end. Pizzuli's going to pick it up from midfield. He fumbles it. It hits the ball. It's still free. And the Redskins. Oh! Or do they? Yes, they do. The Redskins recover the fumble. There for Ticonderoga was Chris Thompson. He couldn't find the handle, and the Redskins left 1st and 10 from midfield.
Incredible. Saranac Lake recovered, then fumbled, then recovered again. Pizzuli having a hard time with the hands on these kick teams. You'll see it. It goes back, and he just cannot get his hands on it.
Ball is still free. There we see Thompson in the picture. He couldn't find the handle. And right there, number 60, Scott Granish, who made the big tackle the last time on Pizzuli, able to pick up the fumble, and on the ground is Pizzuli, and he is sore. He is hurting. I'm not quite sure where he is hurt. He may have just had the wind knocked out of him. Let's look at that kick again, and let's see where maybe Pizzuli is hurt. Pizzuli's got his head down.
Looking for the ball.
Oh, no. Right here.
Rushed out of the way.
Boom.
Took a knee.
He took a knee right to the head. That left knee. Yep, that's the damaging blow.
Yeah,
And
he was down from there. Yep.
Yeah, don't forget, he also took that big hit just about 5 minutes ago from Scott Granish, so he still may have been feeling the effects of that one. Redskins handed off to Williams. Williams can't break a tackle. He's caught in the backfield. First player there for Ticonderoga was number 52, and that is Steve Barnaby.
Williams having a hard time keeping his hands on the ball before he can worry about running. You saw him, he had to adjust the ball a little because he was about to drop it.
That's a loss of 6 for Williams. 2nd down, 16, Saranac Lake.
Tough drive for Saranac Lake so far.
Pizzuli is still on the bench, and now he comes off. We'll see if he'll come up back onto the field offensively for Ticonderoga. I'm sure they're going to give him this defensive series off. Redskins will try to run it around the end again. That's Williams. Williams having difficulty turning that corner. Finally he does so, crosses midfield, and is knocked out of bounds inside the defensive territory of Ticonderoga. The pursuer there was number 33, Chris Thompson.
Gain of probably 8.
Looks as though it is going to be down to 9 for the Redskins.
Williams definitely having a hard time, I think, with Fazuli. If Fazuli does come back in, they're going to be using him for offense. I think they're going to find some help for the defense. I think they're going to try to keep him out as much as they can.
Yeah, if he's going to be your go-to guy, you want him to be your go-to guy for the entire game, not just the first half. Charlie Martin in the backfield, the tailback. Foster, the fullback. They'll run the option. Actually, it's Williams. Williams got to get in the backfield. And right there, Steve Barnaby. Barnaby is going to throw Williams for yet another 6-yard loss. Barnaby, some good pursuit from the linebacker position. 4th down coming up, and the Redskins will kick it away once more. And Fazuli comes back onto the field. He'll return the punt for the Sentinels.
Keep in mind, if the ball goes to him, he has had a very difficult time catching these kicks. Saranac Lake is definitely going to kick it long, and they're going to kick it back, and they're going to hope he drops it once again.
Dezilia is also there for Ticonderoga. Let's see if Fazuli really is just a gimmick. They are going to kick it to Dezilia. Dezilia goes back. Over the shoulder catch from the 15-yard line, and he's only going to pick up 5 on the return. Scott Granish, number 60, makes the tackle. Give him a special teams game ball.
Number 65, Devlin Cotter, who is filling in for Dustin Plummer, is out on knee injuries. He's on the ground holding his knee and comes limping off the field.
Timeout, Saranac Lake.
There's also another injured player. Yeah, no, it is 65. Yep, he went back down. He got up, but then he also went back down. We'll have to see. John Raymond, the coach for Saranac Lake, is on the field. What happened?
He got hit.
He got hit low. If we can run that replay once again. If we have that replay again, we'll show you where he is hit. And they are tending to his left knee. This is number 65, Devlin Cotter.
Watch Fazuli. I believe it's Fazuli that hits him.
I think
Number
you're right.
12.
Number
Comes
12.
back and hits him right there.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that is exactly it. Fazuli, who's been beaten up all game long, decides that he wants to return when John Raymond is absolutely furious. And he let the official have it like I've never seen him before. Watch this hit by Fazuli. It is right on the knee, right there. Yep. That is helmet to kneecap. And Devlin Cotter has to be helped off the field. Obviously, this is an ugly scene for the Redskins, and Coach Raymond is beside himself at this point. Helmet to knee, and there is very little protection. I'm going to watch this one more time. There's the over-the-shoulder catch. I understand Fazuli. You know, he wants to make the block.
He made the good block.
And it is it's a questionable block.
We'll say
Coach Raymond doesn't agree with us in terms of being questionable. He does not like the block at all as Ticonderoga runs it up the middle. And there's going to be a gain of just 1 or 2 yards. Actually going to be a gain of 3. 2nd and 7 coming up for the Sentinels.
We have to keep in mind that the Redskins, of course, were just penalized for a similar block. That no one was injured. They were penalized for it.
Devin Cotter still being attended to on the bench. Gain of 3 yards, power I formation for the Sentinels, and they're going to run it up the middle once again, actually off tackle. They'll carry the ball to the 25-yard line, pick up a couple of more yards. 3rd down play coming up, 3rd down and a long 5, Ticonderoga.
Of course, number 13, Jeremy Rich, showing the blitz, and of course blitzing in the middle as they were lined up in the 4-3 defense. They haven't been doing very often, so he pulled the blitz.
Devin Cotter's got the helmet off and still being looked at. Now Dick Saran comes over. 3rd down, 5, 3rd down, 6. They'll give it off to Fazuli. Fazuli caught in the backfield. That is number 46, Brett Foster, who got a whole lot of jersey. And I think they're going to call the Redskins for a late hit. There was the whistle, and then the final lick, the final hit on Fazuli. This one may be a personal foul against the Redskins.
And the referee's now talking to
Here's
people.
where Fazuli gets tied up, Zach. Now the whistle blows, and then there's the late hit.
What?
The officials are talking it over with Ticonderoga. And it is going to be a personal foul against Saranac Lake. And they're going to call it.
Oh,
there it is, right?
there's a couple of them.
There's a couple of them. An illegal use of the helmet.
Huh. Didn't see that one at all.
I didn't see it until the replay right there. That's going to draw the flag 9 times out of 10. Good call. That is the 4th time the Redskins have been penalized, and we still got a minute and a half to go in the first half. 26-6, Saranac Lake leading Ticonderoga. Thompson sets him down at the 36-yard line. A pitch to Pizzulli. Pizzulli trying to find the room, and nothing there. 85, Peter Schmidt from the defensive end makes the tackle.
Peter Schmidt, 60, Scott Granish.
Believe Pizzulli got back to the line of scrimmage. He did. 2nd and 10.
And of course, there's just about 1 minute left in the half. We'll see what they can get done in that minute.
I think they're going to hook Pizzulli up to oxygen at the half. He's going to need it.
A Wheaties and Gatorade halftime for Pizzulli.
Out of the power I formation, double tight end set. Now they're going to run it up the middle with twists. Nothing there. Maybe a yard. That's it. Ryan Rattel, as well as Charlie Martin, the tacklers for the Redskins. I think they gave the ball to Twish just to give Pizzulli a break. 19 seconds left. Well, I got to doubt Ticonderoga wants to run another play before the end of the half. But it looks as though they are, and they are going to send Russ Gallo to the wide receiver position on the far side, Twist on the near side. Pizzulli, they're going to swing it out for Gallo. Gallo can't handle the pass, but it is behind the line of scrimmage, so he's got to pick it up, or Saranac Lake would have recovered. And he does. But it's a loss of 3 yards, and also that's the way the first half will come to an end, with the Redskins dominating it. 26-6. Ryan Rattel scored every single point of that half for the Redskins. And after 1 half of play, 26-6, the Redskins lead Ticonderoga as both teams go to the locker room for the half. And at the half, again, we're going to have a couple of special features. One will feature the Saranac Lake Redskins cheerleaders. They'll have a halftime show, and also the band will perform at the half. We will bring you an interview with junior quarterback Jim Donuts, and we'll also take a look at some of the other scheduled games today and some of the other games from last night as Redskin football continues on Adelphia Cable Channel 2. John Lundeen along with Zach Yowzy. Zach, your overall impressions of the first half?
Getting a little lackadaisical, I think.
I think so.
I think we're getting a little lackadaisical.
Let's enjoy some of the music from the Saranac Lake Marching Band. All right, you're hearing some of the music in the background being provided by the Saranac Lake Marching Band. Again, the cheerleaders will come out, and they have a special routine for this homecoming weekend. We'll join that in just a couple of moments. I think lackadaisical is a good way to describe what happened in the late stages of the first half. The Redskins put 26 unanswered points on the board, courtesy of Ryan Rattel. The second team offense came onto the field for the Redskins, but very little was accomplished offensively.
Yeah, it's definitely true. They didn't have much luck making holes or making any breaks on the outside. You didn't see them pass too much, and we just didn't see anything really happening.
But on the flip side, defensively for the Redskins, they did give up the 6 points, but they played very well defensively, and they have really kept Ticonderoga in a hole.
They really have. We have to keep in mind, however, that 26 points that were scored were in the first quarter. Ticonderoga was the only team to get on the board in the second quarter.
I think the game was getting a little sloppy towards the late stages of the first half. We saw some penalties. We saw some foolish penalties. And we also saw the hit on Devlin Cotter. That's going to be a story in the second half, if in fact he will come back. He was still on the bench. In fact, as the two teams left for their respective locker rooms, he was being helped to the locker room. So I'm not quite sure the status of Devlin Cotter, if he is going to be able to come back in the second half. But that was a nasty blow that he took. It was a questionable hit by Pazzulli, who's been really the go-to guy and had a lot of responsibility for Ticonderoga.
And of course, number 12, Chris Pazzulli, we've already seen him back on. He had to go off the field for an injury. He already came back on. But you have to question his effectiveness in the second half of this game. You got to wonder how much else he can do.
He has done a lot. Let's you and I take a break and enjoy this routine from the Saranac Lake Redskins cheerleaders. All right, there you have it. Halftime show from the Saranac Lake cheerleaders. Very nice. Macarena. Never going to leave us. Never going to leave us.
We can only hope.
We can only pray. Also, we heard some music from the Saranac Lake marching band. On Tuesday, I had a chance to speak with the junior quarterback for the Saranac Lake Redskins. Talked about a variety of different things, his season, the Redskins season, and what the Redskins have accomplished this year. And let's take a look and join that interview with quarterback Jim Donis of the Saranac Lake Redskins.
Now, the 50-50 for today. Everybody got their tickets for the 50-50 drawing.
Up with Saranac Lake in Ticonderoga, and joining me for the halftime interview is junior quarterback Jim Donis. First question, did you feel as though you had to fill the shoes of Craig Amel, who led this team to the Class C state championship game in Syracuse?
Well, Jared was a great quarterback last year, and the coaches really didn't put any pressure on me at all to have to perform like him at all. I just wanted to be as good a quarterback as Jim Donis could be, and that's why I worked hard, and hopefully doing the best I can right now.
You two have obviously very different styles at the quarterback position. Can you compare what you feel his style was and what your style is under center?
Well, Jared was, he was a hard-throwing quarterback. He threw the ball really well. We were running a lot more shorter patterns than he did last year. He could throw a lot deeper, but he was still getting the job done so far.
You've had the luxury of a very balanced offensive attack with the running game and the throwing game. With the fact that the running game is so good this year, has that taken some pressure off of you?
Oh, definitely. Ryan and the rest of everybody else has done a great job this year. Definitely takes a lot of pressure off you when you know you can also go to the run all the time. So, yeah, definitely.
What did you do in the offseason? When I spoke with Coach Raymond in the offseason, he wasn't so sure that you would be the starting quarterback, but he said you worked hard, you're throwing the ball much better. What did you do?
Well, we were up here every morning at 7:30, and we lifted weights for about an hour, hour and a half, and then went out and threw the football for about an hour or so every single morning. So that basically, and the fact that Coach Plumidor worked with me every morning got me back onto it. So.
How about the offensive line? You've gone through much of the season barely touched, and you've been healthy through the whole season. Offensive line giving you the protection you deserve?
Oh, definitely. The offensive line has been great so far this year. I really can't, they can't do anything else more than what they're doing right now. So, yeah, they've done a great job so far.
This is your first year as the starting quarterback for Saranac Lake, and expectations that you thought you would reach, or maybe some higher expectations in your junior year?
Not really. I just want to come in, play the best I could, have a decent year, and I'd like to finish out the season and end up 7-2. So hopefully keep on track.
What have you done differently to prepare for Ticonderoga? You've had Saranac, Sable, Ticonderoga, kind of a weak point in your schedule. So how has the team been reacting for the last 3 weeks?
Well, we definitely don't want to let down at all. I mean, we still want to finish out the season, so trying to keep the same tempo as we were for like a Beekmantown game or anything else.
Junior quarterback Jim Donis for the Saranac Lake Redskins. And the Saranac Lake Redskins certainly didn't have a letdown in the early stages of the first quarter, but second quarter and for the remainder of the first half, they did not play the crisp style of offense that we saw them play earlier. We've got about a minute and 40 seconds left to the intermission here. You see Jim Donis taking the snaps, and Zach, Lake running back, he gives a lot of the credit to his offensive line. They provided him a lot of protection this season.
Well, they really do. As you see, you can see some of the incredible holes on some of the plays we point out. They've just have tremendous holes for him to run through. It's just incredible.
Jim Donis, I would imagine, will probably take the first few snaps of the second half, and then maybe once again give way to Arian Vincent.
To get everything established, they might try that.
26-6 as we're at the intermission, awaiting the start of the third quarter in the second half of high school football. And why don't we take a look at some of the activities, some of the games in last night's schedule, and some of the games going on this afternoon in Section 7. Last night, Sable Valley and Mariah squared off in Saranac and Seton Catholic. Seton Catholic had an easy time over Saranac, winning by a score of 33-6. Ambrose Walden carried 17 times for 59 yards for Saranac, maintains the lead in the rushing race. The Knights improved to 5-2. Saranac drops to 0-7. And for the Seton Catholic, they will face Saranac Lake on Friday. And as soon as the game was over, according to the Plattsburgh Press Republican, Larry Carpenter told his team you can start thinking about the contest with Saranac Lake. Sable Valley and Mariah. Good game right there. 22-12 final score. Sable Valley able to pull off the win. And how about this? Ed Decker ran the ball 32 times for Mariah, picked up 188 yards on the ground. Corey Lawyer had a big game. He had 150 yards.
Nice.
And for running for Sable Valley. The other game, Beekmantown is at Plattsburgh today, and Tupper Lake takes on Peru. That's going to be a tough game for the Lumberjacks. Peru undefeated, and they love to play at home. They have dominated the opponents at home. They have given up just 3 points on their home field this season. Plattsburgh, Beekmantown. Plattsburgh's had a downtime. Beekmantown should pull off a win fairly easily. Right now, they are ranked number 15 in the state in Class B. They are the only team from Section 7, well, in the North Country, ranked in the latest New York State Broadcasters and Writers poll. They're the only team from Section 7 or Section 10 ranked. Peru received an honorable mention in that poll. And it's going to set up a big showdown the final week, November 2nd, Peru, Beekmantown for the Class B title and the right to go on and play in the Section 10, Section 7 Super Bowl.
I think that same weekend, Saranac Lake versus Tupper Lake, also going to be an incredible game. They're right about both teams, all 4 teams, Saranac Lake versus Tupper Lake. They've got a good little, I don't know how to say it.
It's going to be
It'll be a
matchup.
good game, yeah.
Absolutely, and this was I found to be fairly interesting as well. For Sable Valley, they can still make the playoffs. They need wins in both of their final games against Seton Catholic, and also they need the win, against Seton Catholic and Plattsburgh in order to make the Class C race. There is a penalty flag on this as we're talking about the race with Ryan Rattel on the return for Saranac Lake. We'll have to see where this or who this penalty will be called against. But even with a 5-4 record, Sable Valley could win the Class C race.
What you saw on that's Ryan Rattel didn't have a whole lot of blockers protecting him on that. They had a lot of men in pursuit. He wheeled and dealed as much as he could, ended up getting forced backwards, still had a little bit of break room. They ended up tackling him into the end zone.
But there's a face mask penalty against Ticonderoga, so that's going to advance the ball for the Redskins. And all in all, not bad field position for the kickoff. They're going to start their first series in this second half on their own 20-yard line. Andrew Foster is the fullback. Ryan Mattel is the tailback in the first-team offense on the field for the Redskins. Jonas is going to hand it off to Ryan Rattel. Ryan Rattel into the secondary, and he is stopped at the 26-yard line. That's a gain of 6, second down and 4 for the Redskins coming up.
Ticonderoga defense much more ready for the play on this one. They've been there each time. They had the kickoff team was right there for the tackle to get Ryan Rattel, and the defense was right there to get him once again. Even with Foster in the backfield, I'm sure they put him back there to provide a nice block. He wasn't even enough to get him any more yardage.
Wide receivers on both sides of the line of scrimmage. They're going to run it up the middle with Ryan Rattel. He gets a huge hole, breaks one tackle, and then he couldn't break the second, and he is stopped short of the 35-yard line. He does pick up the first down. In fact, it is a gain of 8 yards and a first down run for Ryan Rattel.
See on that play is he had a huge hole, but while the Saranac Lake linemen held up the Ticonderoga line, they broke away and got enough quick feet and hot pursuit to get in there and get the tackle.
We told you we were going to look out for number 65, Devlin Cotter, to see if he would return, and he's got his jacket on, helmet off. He is still on the bench. So he looks doubtful as though he will return for the second half. They'll give it to Brett Foster up the middle, and he breaks the tackles at the line of scrimmage and beyond midfield into Ticonderoga defensive territory. Finally brought down by number 21. That is Corey DeZila of Ticonderoga, and he prevented a touchdown from Brett Foster. Brett Foster has had some big runs up the middle, and he's just so big and so strong, he's able to create the holes at the offensive line of scrimmage.
He is a large running back.
Jim Donis talked about the luxury of such a strong running game. He's going to run the option to the 35, to the 30, and knocked out of bounds at the Ticonderoga 30-yard line. Russ Gallo makes the tackle for Ticonderoga, but not before Jim Donis picks up his first down run, 1st and 10 from the Ticonderoga 29-yard line.
Jim Donis, a 15-yard run. Nice running for the starting quarterback.
He loves it.
He really
likes this option. Feels more involved in the offense rather than handing the ball off to Ryan Rattel. He's going to run the option once again, makes the pitch to Ryan Rattel. Rattel turns the corner, and he's going to be stopped at the 24-yard line.
Ryan Rattel's got the feet and the speed that can really turn off. You can see that Ryan Rattel didn't really have much more room than Jim Donis on that, because number 11, Jeremy Fish, was right there, right next to both of them. He just has the feet and the agility to get past him is the only thing.
That's a 5-yard carry for Ryan Rattel, 2nd and 5. Ball's marked at the Ticonderoga 24. 2nd and 5. We are just underway in the 3rd quarter. John Lundeen, Zach Yowzy, high school football on Adelphia Cable. Donis sets him down. Pitch it to Ryan Rattel, trying to pick up a block from Foster. Picks up a great block from Foster. Rattel gets free, and he's finally pushed out of bounds. What a block by Foster on number 52, Steve Barnaby.
Ryan Rattel running, just ducked his head right down and ran right through the tackler, and the tackler was the one who ends up slightly
And here's the
injured.
block. That's Barnaby getting
Ducks it.
pancaked.
Ooh.
Pancaked on the block by the fullback, Brett Foster.
Ouch.
Ball is set at the Ticonderoga at 19, 3rd down and a short 2 for the Redskins. They are in 2-down territory. Jeremy Rich is the wide receiver on the near side. There goes Brett Foster up the middle, and he picks up the 1st down. Oh!
Going through and over the tackler. That would be number 81, Lee Thomas. Brett Foster just ran him down.
I wonder what was going through Lee Thomas's mind when you see Brett Foster coming your way.
That's something you don't see Ryan Rattel doing. He does not try to go through the other players. He goes right around them.
1st down and goal to go from the Ticonderoga 7-yard line. Punishing runner Brett Foster. Back to Ryan Rattel up the middle. He's met behind the line of scrimmage. He's going to fight to get back to the line of scrimmage. Gallo is one of the players there to make the tackle for Ticonderoga. Paul Cahill, number 71, was there too. Well, Ryan Rattel does pick up 1 yard on that tackle from Lee Thomas. He just wrapped himself around Foster and held on. That's it.
Frozen with fear.
Muldoon and Jeremy Rich, the wide receivers. Muldoon is on the right-hand side. Split back formation. Donis running the option. He's got a big hole, and he jumps in and scores.
Vaults himself into the end zone.
Now, this is the offense that we were accustomed to in the 1st quarter from Saranac Lake. Donis scores from 6 yards out, and this is the first time the Redskins have not scored or have scored without the help of Ryan Rattel, and Donis up and over, and he breaks the plane. 32-6, Redskins over Ticonderoga.
What was there to jump over? I'm a little. It looked good.
Looks good on the replay. John Trummer in for the point after try. Muldoon to hold. There's the snap. There's the kick. Is it enough? Yes, there is. Just barely over the crossbar. Scores 33-6 with 8:49 to go in the 3rd quarter. Redskins out on top of Ticonderoga. Here's the jump. Let's see. What did he jump over? Actually, no. There was a defender. In fact, that is Paul Cahill. Yeah, jumping through the hands and the arms of Paul Cahill, who tried to grab him at the last possible moment. Here it is again. There's Cahill right there. And that's the tackle that he had to break to get in, and he did.
We're
Jumped
gonna like
over it.
watching that one. That's a fun one.
That's a fun one to watch. The hits, too, from Scott Granish, they've been fun to watch, too, on replay.
They've got the track team coming up on this. They're going to be signing him up for some high jumping because he got some air on that
He
jump.
got some serious air. Devlin Cotter still nursing a sore knee. Yeah, I said it was questionable. Let me kind of clarify what I'm saying. The hit is not illegal. And if you look at the rule book, no way, no how, no place are you going to find where that hit is illegal. But I just question going at the knees. And I question the ethics of trying to block somebody at the knees, especially on the special teams play where the runners, both offensive and defensively, everybody's, at top speed. There is Pozzoli. He moves the ball up to the 34, to the 35, and finally stopped at the 37-yard line. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for Ticonderoga from, we're going to say, what, the 36-yard line? 36-yard line. They're going to mark the football.
Sure.
Concession stand down below wishes to announce that.
Actually, they're going to set the ball at the 39-yard line.
39 yards. Little dyslexia going on in the booth.
Here we go. So Pozzoli's forward momentum
Come on over, stop in, get us over.
carried him to the 39-yard line, his own. 1st and 10, Ticonderoga. Out of the power I formation, they give it to Gallo. Gallo finds some room up the middle, and he crosses the 41 to the 42-yard line. So that's a gain of 3 yards. 2nd and 7 for Ticonderoga coming up.
85, Peter Schmidt.
Well, wind is beginning to pick up here from Ken Wilson Field.
I hardly noticed.
You hardly know. You shouldn't. You got 2 jackets on and a hood and everything else. Yet the cheerleaders for their halftime come out in the dresses, in the no-sleeve shirts.
Well, sir, I am no cheerleader.
No way. And on behalf of everybody here, thank you. Pozzoli up the middle to midfield, and he'll pick up the 1st down, a gain of 7. Looks as though the officials may bring out the chains to measure this one. I think he got it, though.
I'm not even going to say anything about that because I've been wrong, you've been wrong. I think we should both give up.
Hey, if Paul McGuire can continue doing it on NBC, we can too. I think he's got the 1st down. I think he's got the first. He's got the 1st down. Thank you very much.
I could have guessed that one.
All right, 1st and 10 from the Ticonderoga 49-yard line. 1st and 10 Sentinels. Clock rolls. 7:45 to go in the 3rd quarter. Double tight end set, power I formation. Pozzoli at the tailback. They give it to Gallo. Gallo to the Redskins 49. Gain of 2. 2nd and 8. Ticonderoga doing well moving the football, and they've been keeping it on the ground. They've had just one passing play, and that was Lee Thomas as he was looking for Jeremy Fish, and that was in the 1st quarter.
And then, of course, that one interception.
Then the interception, so make it 2. Both of them, the intended receivers were Fish, and that interception was picked off by James Muldoon. Now they go back to pass. He's scrambling, and right there, Peter Schmidt with a quarterback sack.
And so the story continues.
Yes. Peter Schmidt has just torn apart any type of offensive passing schemes from the opponent. He is so quick, he is so strong, and
with a little
Lee Thomas, yep, a little bit of help. Lee Thomas was in serious trouble the moment he started to roll out to the right-hand side because he rolled right out to Peter Schmidt. They're going to be moving Pozzoli to the wide receiver on the left-hand side. Let's see if Thomas is going to look his direction. Reverse. Looks as though they're going to run a reverse, and that's got to be one of the sloppiest reverses I've ever seen. However, Pozzoli with his speed, he avoids some trouble and gets back to the line of scrimmage. And Pozzoli is still down. Now he's going to be helped out by the official. How did he get away from the Saranac Lake defense on that? That was a very slow developing reverse. So watch this.
They have a wall waiting for him, but he cuts through it.
He cuts through it, and then he just gets back to the line of scrimmage. He was fortunate that he didn't lose 6-7 yards.
And his head.
And his head. Now with the 4th down coming up, it's a high snap. Gallo can't handle it. Oh! And Gallo didn't want to pick up the football. However, the Redskins cannot advance it after they do pick up the snap, and they are going to have a 1st and 10 coming up. The Redskins from their own 20-yard line, and Gallo just simply ran away from the snap and ran away from the Saranac Lake defender. He wanted nothing to do with picking up the football once the snap was over his head.
That's not good.
No, that's not good.
You're supposed to want the football.
So 1st and 10 Redskins from the Ticonderoga 20-yard line. John Trumer is the wide receiver on the left side. On the right-hand side is Solomon. High formation. Charlie Martin is the tailback. Arian Vincent the quarterback. And there's movement against the tight end on the right side for Saranac Lake. That is Josh Schmidt, number 83.
Drawn off by his own motion, the motion of on his own team. Seemed to take him off a little bit.
Arian Vincent has seen a lot of snaps in this one. However, for Arian Vincent, he's got to be a very patient quarterback because he's going to be returning once more Jim Donis. He's only a junior. He's still got his senior season left for the Redskins. Second team offense out on the field for the Redskins.
They've had a little difficulty in this half.
First down, 15, Saranac Lake. They'll pitch it to Charlie Martin. Charlie Martin picks up a huge block, and he falls forward back to the line of scrimmage to the 25-yard line.
Jim Williams with a little bit of crunch picking up a block. Number 23, that's Jim Williams.
Barnaby makes the tackle for Ticonderoga. However, it is going to stay 2nd and 15 as Charlie Martin got back just to the line of scrimmage. That was a big-time hit.
Yes, it was. Seen a few of those this game.
Vincent under center. There's the snap. Charlie Martin up the middle. He's going to force his way forward for a couple of yards. Ron Ward, tackler for Ticonderoga.
That chattering noise you're hearing is the teeth of all the people in the studio.
Broadcast booth. Could be us, could be the folks from WNBZ too, and everybody else. It
And
is
the
cool.
stands, it sounds like popcorn.
Man. You know, but during the JV game, the first half, it wasn't bad. We had sunshine, it was warm. And then when the wind started to blow, look out. Arian Vincent looks at a 3rd and 14 for the Redskins. He'll run the option, and he'll run that option right into the teeth of the Ticonderoga defense, and he coughs up the football. Ticonderoga will pick it up. Is that Barnaby? Yes, it is. Barnaby, and no with the tackle. Barnaby with a fumble recovery. 1st and 10, Ticonderoga, and this from their own 25-yard line.
I think coughed up is the way to put it. It looked like he might have had some arms wrapped right around his neck. There they are. Did you see that?
Yep, and Fish was also there.
Coughed up is definitely the word to use for that.
He ran right into the teeth. Strong side defense for Ticonderoga. We have just found out during the half that the game number 1 of the World Series with the Braves and the Yankees, that has been canceled because of the weather. They'll play game 1 tomorrow. That's a busted play.
Oh!
And the quarterback, Thomas,
What?
just
No.
scrambling to get back to the line of scrimmage. He will pick up 2, maybe 3 yards. The whistle blew before the ball was fumbled, so Ticonderoga will keep possession.
This quarter moving a little slower than the rest of the quarters. They had a lot of chains. They had to measure quite a few. First down.
Josh Schmidt gets credit for the tackle. That was a busted play. Saranac Lake able to get a defender off the field, or they would have been called for too many men on the field. Fazuli with the carry on the right side. And he'll pick up enough for the first down and move the chains. First down play coming up for Ticonderoga from their own 38-yard line. From their own 38, first down play. 1st and 10, Ticonderoga, as they trail 33-6. Power I formation. The I back this time is Dizelli. Dizelli with the carry.
Nowhere to
He
go.
is met in the backfield, nowhere to go. That's exactly right. Josh Schwed makes the tackle for Saranac Lake. They're going to lose a yard, 2nd and 11 for the Sentinels.
And of course, is number 21, Corey DeZalia. Number 21, he's got a nice size matchup to number 21, James Muldoon of the Redskins, if you think about it.
There he is, not one of the bigger players on
No,
the field.
They've got about the same size, but if you compare their playing so far this game, I think
Dune's
James
got the
Muldoon's
edge.
very strong.
But
Definitely.
here's one of the bigger fullbacks in the league. That is Gallo up the middle to the 41, maybe the 42-yard line. He'll pick up 4 on the carry. 3rd down and a very long 8 for Ticonderoga coming up. Josh Schwed comes off the field for the Redskins. We are approaching the final minute of the third quarter. Third quarter moving right along.
Need a 4 in the play, bringing up a 3rd and 7.
Now Mazzulli comes back out. Tailback in the power I formation. They're going to give it to him. He's looking for some room to run. Runs into his own blocker, the fullback. That is Gallo. And that gives the Redskins defense enough time to close up that hole. And Matt Dara makes the tackle for the Redskins, the number 26.
Devlin Cotter still on the sideline, icing his knee and sipping a hot chocolate as he tries to nurse his way back to health.
I think fortunately for Saranac Lake, they don't need him.
Well, and he was an alternate for another knee injury. That, of course, was Dustin Plumidor, who was also on the sideline today cheering on the team.
Gallo back to kick from his own 30. Muldoon back deep. There's a high spiral kick. Muldoon from his own 20 to the 25, to the 30, and knocked out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Mazzulli, number 12, makes the tackle for Ticonderoga.
Not a lot of room for Muldoon on the sideline, sir.
Number 12, Chris
So
Mazzulli.
1st and 10, Saranac Lake from their own, they're going to mark it at the 30-yard line. 13 seconds to go in the third quarter. Redskins well on their way to another win on the season and improving to a 5-2 on the year and increasing this winning streak to 3 in a row. And they could carry that winning streak into Seton Catholic Plattsburgh on Friday night. We'll have that game, or actually, WNBZ will have that game. That's the way the third quarter is going to come to a close. So after 3 full, it is 33-6. The Redskins leading Ticonderoga.
33-6. Sounds like the temperature.
33, or maybe
30,
the 6.
Or maybe, yeah. Either way.
It is brisk. Not that bad without the wind. I mean, right now the wind has died down, so it's comfortable. But once the wind starts to blow,
We don't usually complain this much.
yes, we do.
Well, that's just true.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, at the concession stand, you can pick up a soda for a quarter. Or
On the next year's school budget ballot, we're going to ask for a wind partition. Somehow I have a serious doubt that will be approved.
Maybe just a space heater.
John Lundeen, Zach Yowzy with today's call on Adelphia Cable. 4th and final quarter coming up. Seton Catholic game on Friday night. I think that's going to be a good one. I think the Redskins are going to be tested really for the first time in the last 3 weeks.
And the lights, going to have the lights up and the Velcro strips on the ball so you can see the lights. It's going to be an exciting game.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It really will be. That adds that whole professional look in it. It's just like, it's the fun of playing at night. I don't know. Primetime football.
That's right, on prime time. 7:30 game time, and WNBZ will begin their pregame show at 7:15 that evening on Friday. And then we'll come back on November 2nd to wrap up the regular season with Saranac Lake and Tupper Lake. In Tupper Lake for the Mayor's Cup. And for the first time in quite a few years, Tupper Lake has the ability to pull off a win. Arian Vincent works the wishbone formation. Charlie Martin around the end. Charlie Martin carries the ball to the 32-yard line. That's a gain of 2. 2nd down and 8 for the Redskins. The second team, the second unit offense for the Redskins, they really have not done a very good job in running the football against the first-team defense of Ticonderoga.
They're doing better. They've done better this half. They've haven't lost the yardage they were losing in the second quarter. They were doing a lot of losing.
I formation with Charlie Martin, the tailback, Vincent back.
Oh.
And they run it up the middle. That is Peter Schmidt.
Oh,
Peter
my
Schmidt is going to go
goodness.
all the way. 58 yards for the score. And I was completely fooled.
Yes,
Peter
and they
Schmidt
threw
up
the
middle.
flag.
They threw, yes.
Good for them.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I'm glad, Peter Schmidt scores from 68 yards out. However, too much celebration, and they're going to call a personal foul against the Redskins.
I can understand it.
Yes.
I can understand the dancing, but it's...
I was completely fooled. There he goes, Peter Schmidt into the end zone, and then he's going to spike the football.
Yes, but...
If we can see that replay one more time and slow it down from the line of scrimmage, see where Peter Schmidt fits into this
where did he
play.
come from? Was he
Where
in the
did he come
backfield?
from?
Was he in the backfield?
Boy, I hope so.
Yep.
Yep, he is the fullback in the formation. He was the fullback in the I formation. He took the handoff right up the middle, and there he goes, 68 yards later.
And they send them
And then
15 yards.
and that's why right there you saw at the end, you saw the neon Deion Sanders dance, and then the spike of the football, and that's what drew the flag. This is going to be a long point after try for the Redskins.
Let's see.
It's going to be a 29-yard kick. There's the snap. Kick is
Not
blocked, and the
even
kick is
close.
going to be wide right. Not even close. That was John Solomon.
So, for the first touchdown on the second team offense, Peter Schmidt, amazing defensive end this season, scores the first touchdown for the second team offense.
Yeah,
End of the half.
it's those defensive guys. You know, they don't think they get enough credit, so they want to get involved in the offense and find themselves in the score box. You know, the next morning,
Wide right.
Peter Schmidt will clip out that story tomorrow in any local newspaper.
That'll be hanging on the fridge for a while. I
That's
gotta-
right. And when he goes to college, freshman year, he'll say, I scored from 68 yards out.
Yep. That's the video he'll have in the library.
That's the video. I didn't even bother to look if he was the fullback in the I formation.
Who'd have thought?
I
Who'd have thought it?
was looking for Charlie Martin, the tailback, and Vincent went back, and they used the draw play with a fullback, and he scores. We didn't think about it. Ticonderoga's defense didn't think about it either.
It's one of the largest plays of the game by Peter Schmidt. Unbelievable.
39-6, 11:11 to go in regulation. Fazzuli takes it off the hop at the 15 to the 30. He's got a big hole to run through and carries the ball all the way to his 45-yard line. That is a 30-yard return for the Ticonderoga tailback. But he did deserve the flag.
Oh, by all means.
Yep.
But as long as they were safe, as long as it's not a play that's going to call back the touchdown, then they were fine with it, I'm sure.
1st and 10 from the Ticonderoga 45-yard line. Fazzuli off tackle to the 46. That's it. Andrew Foster, number 70, makes the tackle for the Redskins.
Fazzuli on the carry.
Right, I suppose you'd call it a tackle.
Well, he stood him up.
He stopped him.
He did stop him. He stood him up. 2nd and 9, Ticonderoga from the 46.
This game is certainly a lot more fun since Peter Schmidt doing the first dance of the season.
But the Redskins have used some big plays in this one. Thomas, the quarterback, gives it to Fazzuli. Or actually, he's going to run the
he's
option.
holding it.
He's going to hold it himself to the 40, to the 35, to
John
the 30.
Solomon.
And James Muldoon, who is probably about 6 inches shorter than Lee Thomas, is the one that makes the tackle and knocks him out of bounds.
Excuse me for the John Solomon outburst. Following that a little wrong.
Good for 20 yards, first down at the Saranac Lake 30.
He kept it himself, Thomas. He turns the corner. Now Muldoon has to make the touchdown-saving tackle the second time this game, and he knocks Thomas out of bounds. First down and 30 from the Redskins' 30-yard line. Power I formation. They'll run it up the middle. That is Gallo, and Gallo to the 25-yard line. Gain of 5. Second down and 5 for Ticonderoga.
Mr. John Lundeen faked out by the Ticonderoga quarterback.
You know it. Faked out by the Redskin quarterback, too. Never expected to see Peter Schmidt, the fullback.
It's been an unexpected quarterback.
He certainly has.
We're finding lots of surprises.
Power I again. That's Fazzuli. Hand it off up the middle to Gallo. Gallo is stacked up short of the 20-yard line. He's going to be a yard, maybe 2 short of the first down marker for Ticonderoga.
Gallo again on the carry. Down by 71, Jason Spinner.
39-6, fourth quarter. We're running into about 9 minutes to go.
Third down, 3rd and 1 for Ticonderoga.
One of the largest wins for Saranac Lake this season.
Yeah.
And the first touchdown for Peter Schmidt.
Once again, up the middle, that's going to be a first down run for the Ticonderoga ball carrier. Again, that is 44, Russ Gallo.
Gallo again on the carry.
Russ Gallo picks up 8 on the carry in the first down.
Andrew Foster, number 70.
From the Redskin 15-yard line, 1st and 10. This drive, very impressive so far from the Sentinels. Thomas sets him down. He's going to go to Pizzoli this time. Pizzoli breaks the tackle in the backfield, and he's in. He scores from 15 yards out.
Chris Pizzoli, 15 yards, touchdown run.
Found the hole on the left-hand side and found his way into the end zone and puts on the 12th point on the board for Ticonderoga. There he is, around the left end and into the end zone. That is Chris Pizzoli, his 2nd score of the ball game. And the 2nd score for Ticonderoga. It comes at the 8:05 mark of the 4th quarter. Ticonderoga for the 2-point conversion. Power I formation. They'll give it to Gallo. Gallo up the middle, and Gallo's going to be well short of the end zone. So for the 2nd time this game, Ticonderoga fails on the 2-point conversion. However, they do pick up 6 more. And with 8:05 to go in regulation, it is 39-12. Saranac Lake leading Ticonderoga.
Ticonderoga not letting themselves lose their, not letting themselves find themselves lackadaisical and not doing anything. They're pulling it together, and they're not going to leave this game until that last minute is up. They've showed that they can stay on the board with the Redskins. They might not be as strong running, as quick,
Or as experienced.
or as experienced, but they're keeping with them.
But this is good for the coaching staff. This is, we talked in a pregame show that they don't have a leader on this team. Pizzoli, I think, has established himself a leader, at least in this game. And with this young squad returning, they're only going to lose 6 players. They only had 3 that returned for this season. They've got something to work with. They've got a good nucleus to work with for next season and the season after.
A lot of juniors, a lot of sophomores.
Back deep for Saranac Lake to return the kick is number 10, Ryan Rattel. And it looks as though the Ticonderoga Sentinels are going to set up the onside kick. It worked the last time for them. That's Gallo. Gallo kicks it right to the front man off the shoulder, the left shoulder of Arian Vincent, and Ticonderoga will recover. Right there, number 56 is Aaron Diskin. And Arian Vincent never expected the kick to come his way. He was looking for the onside kick, not the line drive shot right at him, and Diskin picks up the football. 1st and 10, Ticonderoga.
Ticonderoga playing a very strong second half. They really are. They've gotten the touchdown, the recovery off of the kickoff. Nice kickoff. It was an onside kick. I'm not sure they intended to expect to get it as much as they did.
Arian Vincent never had time to get his hands up to catch that football. That's Pizzoli. Pizzoli up the middle, and Pizzoli's going to pick up 3, maybe 4 yards. See where they mark the football.
Pizzoli on the carry.
What a good block by LaValle, the tight end, number 85 on that carry. They're going to give him credit for 4, 2nd down and 6 for Ticonderoga. That was Arian Vincent. He's only, what is he, 10 yards away. He never had time to get those hands up.
Yeah, he really didn't. It hits him in the numbers, and it hits hard.
There it is to Gallo up the middle. Gallo is going to pick up a 1st down. He's going to pick up 8 on the carry. Ryan Rattel makes the stop for the Redskins, number 10. Solomon also there. Gallo is a very strong runner. I'm very impressed.
He's a very big runner.
Jim Williams comes off the field for Saranac Lake. Power I formation, double tight end set. Ticonderoga. That's Thomas rolling, looking to throw, and pitches it out. Caught at the 25-yard line, and they're going to mark the receiver out before the 25-yard line. That is James Twist.
barely gets the pass off on that. He was almost sacked by 3 tacklers.
Twist stepped out of bounds at the 27-yard line. It's a good first down play for Ticonderoga. They pick up 9, 2nd and 1.
Pick up a 9 yard.
Little razzle-dazzle there. Now they go the more conventional route with Fazuli. Fazuli breaks the tackle, and he picks up the first down, and he stopped at the Redskins 21. Picks up 6 on the carry, a first down, Ticonderoga. Ticonderoga looking very good this second half.
This quarter, keeping the ball mainly in this half of the field, keeping it in the Saranac Lake half, keeping them very vulnerable. Not threatening too much with the loss, but they can gain and get some points on there and disappoint the Redskins for the lead that they had.
5:50 to go as the clock continues to roll. Oh, looks as though Redskin defender needs some equipment adjusted. We're all set. They'll give it to Gallo. Gallo up the middle. Moves back a couple of Redskin defenders. Ben Gagne, number 61, stops Gallo.
Gallo, of course, is only a junior, looking for maybe a leadership position next season. He has not played too poorly himself this game.
5-yard gain for Gallo. 2nd and 5. Thomas under center. Thomas rolling out left-hand side, trying to pick up the corner. Can't do it. And that is number 80. Making the tackle for Saranac Lake. Number 60, excuse me, that's Scott Granish.
Lee Thomas on the keeper.
That keeper fake, that of course has worked once in the game. We saw him get a long break on it before. Of course, I'm up here with John Lundeen, who was also faked out by that play.
Scott Granish throws him for a loss of 3. 3rd and 9 in Ticonderoga. They're in 2-down territory. They'll use those 2 downs for the first. Thomas under center. He's going to send Gallo into motion, and there's going to be a legal procedure when he was in motion. The offensive line also.
As well as number
Step
23,
forward.
James Twist.
And number 23, James Twist. So there were about 3, maybe 4 players moving on that play. Only one can move, unless, of course, you play in the CFL, then everybody moves up. So that's a loss of 5, 3rd down and 14. That's going to change the play calling just a little bit for Ticonderoga. Hey, you put the ball in the air?
Why not? What can you do? You can't really. You got not much to lose at this game. The game's pretty much lost.
Yeah, Gallo and Twist are the wide receivers. Thomas back to pass. He's looking, and it was almost picked off by Ryan Mattel. The intended receiver was Gallo, who was covered very well by Ryan Mattel. 4th down and 14 for Ticonderoga. Fourth and 14 coming up for Ticonderoga.
Rob Bino coming in on defensive end opposite Peter Schmidt.
See where they put Gallo. They're going to line him up as a wide receiver, or he's unsure where he's supposed to be in this formation. He calls a timeout. That's going to be Ticonderoga's first of the half. Saranac Lake still has 3. It's going to stop the clock with 4:03 to go in regulation.
Not a lot of timeouts this game.
No, in fact, this is just the 3rd. Ticonderoga used 2 in the first. The last timeout was taken in the first quarter. So this game has had a pretty good pace to it, pretty good tempo. See Peter Schmidt, 85. I'm taking his seat, looking rather relaxed.
Not doing any more dancing on the field.
No, I think he learned his lesson.
Peter Schmidt planning the Macarena for the next touchdown. The Macarena.
Actually, what did I see the other day? Talking about dances, the Suds dance. There's a new Suds dance.
Suds dance.
I think I saw it in like Inside Edition or something. You go into a nightclub and they fill up this pool with laundry suds, and then you go in and you do your dance.
All right.
I really did see this. I really did. I'm not making this up. Trust me. And because I watched it on Inside Edition, it's got to be true. There is the pitch to Pizzuли. Pizzuli's going to throw it. He's looking into the end zone.
Oh,
Ryan Rattel picks it off at the 5-yard line. To the 15, to the 20, the 25, on his feet at the 30.
Oh, my.
He shakes and bakes and sneaks in, is finally stopped
Shaking,
at the
baking.
35-yard line.
Shaking and baking and wheeling and dealing is Ryan Rattel.
Ryan Rattel looking good.
I thought he was out of bounds. That's why I thought he stopped.
I did too. But he wasn't. He kept the feet in
what?
bounds.
Did you see?
There's the pass from Pizzuli, and Ryan Rattel just
Caught
able
it in
to
the face
outleap
mask.
the defender. That's LaValle, the tight end. And now watch him. Puts on one move,
I'll
two
stop
moves,
here.
three,
No,
four.
there we go.
I'll go this way, and finally it's stopped. LaValle back in on the play. It makes the tackle for Ticonderoga.
Quite a block by the Ticonderoga line on that. You can see the lineman flopping right over by Saranac Lake.
So 1st and 10 from the Redskins' 35-yard line. And the Redskins will run it up the middle, and that is Holtz with the carry, number 31. I think he got back to the line of scrimmage. That may be just about it.
Wade Hope, ball carrier.
Now we're seeing the second team, a little bit of the third team offense on the field for Saranac Lake.
A little bit of everybody, sort of an offensive salad.
Yep, you got less than 3 minutes to go. This game is in hand. An offensive salad. Anybody other than me noticing Zach's getting comfortable as the color guy on Adelphia Gable? Yeah, offensive salad.
Kyle Sorensen, the ball carrier.
Kyle Sorensen, 41 with that carry. I think he got back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 10. Give the guy a microphone, you never know what he's going to say. Clock still rolls, 2 minutes to go. I formation. Sorensen is the tailback in the guy. Holtz is the fullback. Arian Vincent, the quarterback. And they'll give it to Sorensen. Sorensen is going to be thrown for a loss this time. 4th and 11. And here comes the punt team for the Redskins.
And of course, the punt team's going to take their time on the field here. They want to run down this last 2 minutes and just see what they can do.
I wouldn't be surprised if they take the full 30 seconds and maybe take the delay of game penalty. If they did that, it would leave about 1:03 on the game clock. The kicker is number 75, Ian Zeron. Here's the snap. Zeron set. Really no pressure. That's not a bad-looking kick.
And
But it is going to be
cheerleaders.
out of bounds on the near sideline. Let's see where the officials mark it out of bounds. They're 35, 36 at the 37-yard line. So 1st and 10, Ticonderoga from their own 37.
Good example right there of why they put up this new fence here at Ken Wilson Field.
That's all. I still have not figured out why the fence does not reach down to the ground.
That's a good question.
Ian Zeron,
I think it's for the protection of the fans and not the players, to tell you the truth. I doubt you're going to have a fan get stuck under the fence. The player would probably get much easier stuck under there once he's tackled.
Fence has been there for about 3 weeks. Keeps the fans away. Minute 17. Thomas, the quarterback. Power I formation. Thomas back to throw, being flushed out of the pocket, and he's going to be sacked. Sacked at the 30-yard line. There's a flag on the play.
He did a face mask.
Andrew Foster
Yes, it is.
picks up the sack, but did he get a hand in there?
On the play.
See if he got a hand in there on the face mask on Thomas.
Oh, yes, he did.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he did.
We don't need to see that anymore.
Penalty on the play.
That was an ugly one.
Sack looked nice up until the right hand got in there on the face mask.
You got to go for the waist.
So what was a 8-yard loss is now going to be a 15-yard penalty against the Redskins. But it's still not enough, though, for the first down, because you mark the infraction and mark the penalty from where the foul occurred.
Still tough. 55 seconds ticking down here. Ken Wilson Field.
Ticonderoga would like to punch it into the end zone at least one more time. See if they can do it. They're going to run the reverse and nothing there.
Action.
That's Chris Thompson, number 33.
Twist on the carry.
Thompson had no room to run on that carry right there. Right side of the defense from Saranac Lake closed that up. 27 seconds left. Should be enough time for Ticonderoga to get one more play off. Thompson hands it off up the middle, and that is Russ Gallo. But Gallo's got to have maybe 17, maybe as much as 20 carries in this one.
Surprisingly enough, they didn't go for the big play on that. If you want the touchdown, the last thing, I would think you'd go for the big play instead of just shooting it up the middle. But as it ends, we see them
That's it. They
walk
used,
up the field.
the last play was a draw play up the middle. Final score was 39-12 in favor of the Saranac Lake Redskins over the Ticonderoga Sentinels. But in all, really not a bad effort by Ticonderoga. They came out in the second half and they played some heads-up football.
He really did.
Come join the party.
Second half was much better played by Ticonderoga.
And Saranac Lake put this one out of reach in the first quarter, and especially Ryan Rattel. He put 26 points on the board in the first quarter all by himself. So the final score is 39-12 for Saranac Lake. They extend their winning streak to 3. They now move to 5-2 on the year, and they'll take that record into Plattsburgh, where they will face Seton Catholic on a Friday night in what should be a very good game. And then we'll pick up Saranac Lake football on November 2nd as they wrap up their season in Tupper Lake. For Tupper Lake, it may be a very important game for them because they're in the Class D race with Mariah. So there could be a lot at stake for that one other than just the Mayor's Cup. Final score, 39-12 for Zach Yowzy and for the rest of the Adelphia Cable crew. Good job on the TV cameras as well as our replay. Thanks, everybody. I'm John Lundeen. Have yourselves a great afternoon.
This has been a special live presentation of Empire Sports Network.
It's the monster truck video everyone's been waiting for. It's the all-new monster truck bloopers and motor mayhem. And it's gonna blow you away. First, see all the hottest trucks. Bigfoot, Gravedigger, Snakebite, Taurus, and more. Jumping, smashing, crack.
Rochester this week on the ECAC Game of the Week. The St. John Fisher Cardinals feature one of the top passing attacks in Division III. They face a fired-up Rockport Golden Eagles team that is celebrating their 50th anniversary today at home. The ECAC Game of the Week is next on Empire.